Mm. What's up, guys? I'll change the topic. Oh, bloody hell. What's up? My friend.
I really like the all life is worthless one.
Yeah, it actually is funny. I didn't make it like with the comedic sense like in mind, but afterwards when I looked back on it, it was a bit funny because all those people there. It's like you're saying like you're not.
No, I love your fucking pro-life or pro-choice one, and they're looking at the ultrasound. It's just chef's kiss.
It's like, I don't know, like I didn't do it intentionally, but now that I look back, it's a bit funny.
Yeah, you're like unintentionally really funny.
It seems like it seems unhinged.
It is a little, well, it's like subtly unhinged. That's what I think makes it. Because you have to be paying attention. Most people just like see the words and then their brain kind of, hi Haru. Most people just, oh, beat me to it. And their brain kind of hyperfixates on the word and they don't look at the background and like what it all means and all that shit.
Yeah. But shoot. Have you seen that? Oh, what's up? Go ahead. Welcome up, Jeff. What
I
you got for us?
believe all life is not worthless.
Oh my god.
Wait, Haru, did you wish Cease a happy birthday?
Wait, what?
It's his birthday!
Wait, yesterday or today?
He said today is his birthday when I went in his live.
How long ago was that?
Today!
Well, it's 12:10 right now.
Well, it was, I can't remember what time it was, but it was...
Was it less than 10 minutes ago?
Oh shoot.
Well, no.
Well, I'm gonna go, y'all.
Okay, damn. I guess he's going to go wish Cease a happy birthday.
I'm probably gonna text him on Discord.
As he should.
Oh god.
I fucking love Cease. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, he's really cool.
I'm putting hair oil in my hair.
B.A.S.H. Why is your new profile picture Ty Lopez themed? No, it's Pride Month, so it just has a rainbow thing around.
Ty Lopez?
Also, why does my room smells like Cheetos? And I'm confused.
Wait, do you like the background of his profile picture, Sloth? I don't know who would have created that. Definitely not AI.
Yeah. Should I tell them?
Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice. Do-do-do.
But no, life is good. I'm like really tired.
Yeah,
Sometimes
count the epistemological framework that you're actively alluding upon under
oh
that
my god,
basis.
shut the fuck up.
Wow,
Anyway,
you don't want to understand the terminologies that you're actively displaying under your privatized linguistic model framework?
I'm kidding. I'm too tired for that
You see how
bullshit.
you're pivoting from the active elucidations of
Oh
the
my god.
argumentations that we're actively combating?
Haru, it's 11 at night, man.
It's actually 12:12.
Okay, even worse.
And I got called into a small shift because I'm a manager. I'm gonna fucking crash out.
Fuck being a manager. I'm a buster and a dishwasher.
Because I'm a server at one job and I'm a manager at another. Because like low-key I make more money. It's so fun.
You work 2 shifts? Or you work 2 jobs?
But typically I only work like 3 days a week and I still make like how much? I know in this, but today it was only like a 4-hour shift. And wait, I didn't even get paid a lot this night because it was a serving job. It was because I was a manager. I'm actually gonna crash out now.
I recently bought an e-bike with like my last paycheck, and it's awesome.
Ooh, you did that?
Yeah, I bike to work and bike home from work.
Yeah,
3
how's it
miles.
holding homophobic Coco during Pride Month?
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's the last of my floss. God bless.
How about
America.
this, Coco? Can I request a prompt?
Wait, I have a question. Wait. So you use the string to floss, right?
I use both, yeah. I use traditional string floss and I also have a water pick.
And do you use one piece of string for all your teeth, or?
Yeah.
You use 20 different strings.
Okay.
One for each gap, Coco.
And basically the goal is just
That's
to push.
proper hygiene.
Well, hold on. Wait. Basically, the goal is just to push debris out from in between your teeth.
No.
Essentially.
So you feed it through the gap of your teeth, but you create a C shape against the tooth. And you don't go back and forth like God, how do I like frontwards and backwards with the string like a saw motion? You go up and down the side of your tooth.
Oh.
Wait, Coco, do you not floss?
I water floss, but I don't use
Okay, buddy.
floss, but
I don't believe you.
I
Or
do
maybe
need
I
to.
do.
I do need to I don't know,
You see how Coco won't let me request a prompt, Clover?
Oh my god.
You didn't even give the prompt, or did you? I wasn't.
I've asked Coco for 2 straight months now to run a
Coco,
prompt.
you gotta use traditional too, bro. That cleans your gums actually.
Actually, you're wrong. You're factually incorrect.
Like water's cool, but traditional is like if you use both, it's really good.
Yeah. I think my goal is to be a successful, handsome, healthy black man, and I should probably step up my hygiene.
You got the black part. You already cooked, gang. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do need to step up my hygiene. I also need to be working out more. I don't work out at all. Oh, I mean, technically at my job, I'm doing a lot of movement and
Man, that is not working out. Listen, this is what you need to do, right? This is what you need to do.
Well, no, but deadass, I come home sore. I also bike to work and bike home from work.
Fuck that. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do, right? We're gonna put you on a program.
Yeah.
I want you to do this, right? I want you to wake up in the morning. In the morning, you go for a nice little jog, okay? That's what you do to get the blood flowing. And then you gotta either take a nap or you can even work out from home if you don't have a membership for a gym. So you do push-ups, at least 100 in that morning. You do sit-ups. You do basic things until you build up your muscles. Because just because you don't have a gym or membership, you have your body, you have your house or something to move. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. Okay.
And then also I gotta eat a shit ton of protein.
Yes, you eat it's really a calorie thing, You eat things that has high calories and then you do a calorie surplus. But yes, you do need protein, protein shake, or you can make your own protein shake.
Yeah. Clover, I didn't know that you were utilizing someone's culture and like basically just stealing from their culture.
Black. It's okay. She's black. She's a minority. It's okay.
No. The clover, basically, the clover is like someone's culture. I forgot the word for it, but like you're like
That's
Irish culture.
Polish. It's the shamrock.
yeah. You are like, what's the word for it when you're like practicing someone's culture?
Cultural
But like,
appropriation.
Appropriating.
yeah, you're appropriating Irish culture. Cancel Clover.
I mean, I've decided to forgive myself for that, so I see it as a non-issue.
Damn, crazy work.
Now Clover, her workout plan, her workout regimen. She's a difficult cookie because she wants something specific. She doesn't want to be broccoli or like the tough muscle mommy. She wants to feel confident, right?
He wants to be slim thick.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's what I want.
But she doesn't. The thing is, we had this discussion. She doesn't want to have a sloppy fat ass, but she doesn't want to have a muscular ass. So she's like in this predicament because
She wants a bubble butt.
She needs to up her.
I need the size to match.
Yeah, she needs to up her weight a bit. She needs to up her weight. That's her thing. If she ups her weight just a little bit, you say you're like 90 pounds, right?
I'm less than 90 pounds.
Wait, you want to look like Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman.
I don't.
No, that's muscle mommy. She doesn't want to look like that. She doesn't want to look like that. So you gotta at least be like 100 or 110 if you want the thick thighs that match.
I know.
So
I don't
really
know
with her, she
just
just
over 90.
Yeah, really with her, she just got to get her weight up before she gets her like workout plan.
See,
I mean, she can still work out though, but
Yeah, I need to stay flexible while I'm waiting for that.
So basically, just junk food up your diet. Just go to McDonald's, burgers. We're talking fries. We're talking milkshakes.
She gets acne up the ass, huh?
Well, okay. I mean, wash your face. Actually, okay. You know what's weird? I've never struggled with acne, and I eat like shit, and I wash my face.
It could be genetic too, so it's genetics play a role too. So you probably just got good genetics.
Really sensitive skin.
Oh.
It's not bad. It's just like very acneic. Everything clogs my pores.
No.
Yeah, you probably just got good genes, Coco. Good for you. This nigga's tall, he's black, and he has no acne. Holy shit.
Might have some.
What the fuck?
I might have some pimples on my like cheeks, but like my face cheeks, but not like crazy acne.
Coco, did I tell this lady in the comments? This fucking Christina. This is the lady who came up. Oh, dude, I want her to come up here. Like, she just came up on fucking. I think you were there. I think it was your live.
Yeah.
She came up and just started screaming at me.
Yeah, she made fun of your voice.
You're an evil person. You're evil. And I was like, what? I've never been called evil before. That's fucking insane.
I think she even called you like Mickey Mouse, motherfucker, or like.
She called me all sorts of things, but I want her to come up because she's like really funny. She brings a lot of value to my life.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Hi.
Oh, this is gonna get crazy.
Hold on, let me share the live to a bunch of people real quick.
This is gonna get out of control.
Do. Shooby dooby doo. How you been?
Bobby.
I'm pretty good. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Yo, what's good?
I'm doing pretty good.
Coco?
It's all good. I got food.
We need to go rock wall
My
climbing.
car broke down. So that sucks.
Damn,
I'm good.
You seem calm.
Yeah, that
I'm
karma
always
hitting her
calm.
ass right now.
Wait, what was that?
Why is your prompt all life is worthless? What does that mean? What does that accomplish? Why are you talking negative to everyone?
She went into it.
You know, I already know this is gonna be interesting. Yep. Here's Oh, Clover,
Wait,
take it
hold
away.
on, Christina. I will accommodate your inquiries. It's just that I'm flossing right now. Sorry.
Okay.
Nah,
What does that
multitask.
accomplish? It's nasty work.
Are you okay? Was that a laugh or a string of coughs?
that was a laugh.
It was a fart.
Oh my god. Well,
See, I told you she's fucking funny.
okay, I'm
So,
gonna get up.
Christina, are you like, do you be serious when you talk, or you just be like trolling?
I don't know. What do you think?
That's why. That's why I
Am
asked.
I
You know,
serious?
I don't know. I just want to know. You know.
Ask me a question, and I will tell you an honest answer.
An honest
Okay.
answer.
100%.
100%.
Okay. How do you
100%.
how do
On
you
my
feel
life.
how do you feel about Trump?
I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed and ashamed that I thought that
No.
he might do something. I'm extremely disappointed. I feel so much shame for that. You have no idea. No
Okay.
idea.
I was not expecting that.
I didn't
I
expect
promise
that,
you.
and
That
you gained some points in my
Oh,
book.
well, let me tell you this because you won't expect this. There's a lot of us out here that are like, what the fuck? It was America first. It was give back to manufacturing. Yay, America. And now it's like, we don't give a fuck that you're paying $4 for gas.
I
What the
mean,
fuck was that?
low
What
key.
the fuck was that? We're not stupid. We can all see it. Good Lord.
I mean, like the signs were there before he got
Well,
reelected.
apparently, a lot of us didn't see it. So I appreciate that you saw the signs. I wish you could have communicated them better to me so that I could have, disconnected myself from that before, but I didn't. I believed
this is
it.
surprising me. Holy fuck! This is
And
like, is this character development or?
You gotta take accountability for the fact that you didn't
This
have
character
good
development.
enough comprehension skills. I'm sure many people tried to communicate it to you, but like a lot of y'all will not fucking listen. And I'm not talking about you in particular.
okay, well, I didn't have
Hold
long
on.
conversations about people.
Hold
I had
on.
tidbits
Hold
online that said,
Anyways, like, I don't know what you were like before. You might have been an active listener and, like, very accommodating. But, like, the way that you said, I wish that you would have been better at explaining it so that that to me doesn't scream accountability. So I kind of doubt that, to be honest.
I mean, like Kamala Harris talked about it. Democrats talked about it. Donald Trump is like a failed businessman, a con artist. He literally talked about grabbing women by the pussy. Like all the signs were there, and like people were still like.
He sexualized his daughter multiple times.
Yeah, he literally sexualized his daughter. He used Schmef Epstein's planes to travel around. Like all the signs were there, and for some reason, people thought he was like a great candidate. We should like bring him into office. So like I'm not shocked. Like
I think mostly people chose him because they lost faith in the Democrat Party. And I can't blame them for that, but people should still be better at knowing their fucking enemy, for God's sakes.
yeah,
The
like
lesser of two evils? What happened to that shit?
So Christina, how about what the fuck? All right, Christina. How do you feel about? How do you feel about? Are you like a believer of Christ?
sorry, my microphone just turned off
I was asking,
without me touching my phone, but I was fixing to say, yes, I am a believer of Christ. I am a Catholic.
Okay. And like, do you think that religion has like negatively impacted a lot of people?
There's, of course, yeah. There's a lot of people have been negative because people seem to want to hijack religion and twist it to their own personal. If you follow religion, you follow the Bible, then no, it hasn't hijacked you. But there are people follow other people and say, hey, this is what the Bible says. No, it's not. It's not what read it for yourself. That's not what it says. And don't play with me. I don't buy that. So, but there are people out there that do that, and I think it's disgusting.
Okay.
But I can see people falling for that for sure.
I want to have a continued conversation from last night before Coco's live ended. It was a conversation about minds.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, I was talking about minds and shit, man. I'm reading on minds and shit right now. Still gotta make notes for that shit, bro.
I was just Coco's your live ended when I was talking to Cease. But I just like I wanted to know like to me the concept of minds are just kind of like weird right now. Like
Yeah, it's not a simple topic. It's like very complex, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to hear where that went, but
yeah,
unfortunately,
because I don't know if like Snell like you want nobody wants to say plants have minds, right? You wouldn't want to say that,
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say that.
right? But you say like a snail has a mind, right?
Does a
I
snail
don't know
have a
about that.
mind? I never thought of snails. I'm not gonna lie.
Like clams or snails.
I say snails probably have some type of. Well, it gets to the question that do like all animals have minds, or just rational beings such as ourselves have minds? Like they have to evolve to the point where they can develop some type of mind.
Yeah, because I'm kind of at what threshold does mind do we say something has a mind or something doesn't have a mind? Because we don't want to say like plants have minds, but I wonder if you say like maybe like certain like bacteria or so, maybe like something or certain like a clam or jellyfish or like
Well, I think it also depends on like which theory of mind you're gonna prescribe to. Like I think if you're like a
like
Yeah.
I don't believe. I'm not sure if I believe in the. I'm not too sure if I believe in this concept of minds right now at all. Like any theory.
oh,
Like
you
I want
don't
to
think
know.
the okay, I get what
Like
you're
I
saying.
know you what you mean, like some kind of level of consciousness. I know, but I'm like, do we extend that to like clams and snails and jellyfish and like water bears and
hmm
like how far do we extend like how generous do we be when we want to give something a mind? Like
Well, I think it would depend on what you would even. Like, I know that you're struggling with the concept of its existence in the first place, so it might be hard to, like, measure what you think a mind even is. But I think that that should be the starting place. I think it depends on what you mean by a mind. I don't think just any organism.
All right.
Okay. I think that was interesting. Are we at a casino?
I think the gifts
No,
that
I
Floyd
got it.
says.
I just those are the casino.
But yeah, I really think like when you talk about mind, you gotta understand like which theory of knowledge you're gonna fall into, like epistemology and stuff like that. Because like when you talk about mind, you're gonna bring up other metaphysical topics too, not just simply the mind. You know.
well, I mean, to some degree. Right now, I'm not talking about like some theory of justification or theory of knowledge. I'm just
And
want to like
I would say yeah.
I just want to know like I just want to curious of like do we do where the thresholds in where we want to agree that something has a mind or doesn't have a mind, right? You like everyone here wants to say like they don't people like y'all in this panel don't want to say plants have minds, right? You don't want to.
I mean no, but I do
About saying
think
that.
no, but I do think people some people believe that plants have some type of mind. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
think so.
I'm just asking you guys. You guys don't want to
No,
say plants have minds, right?
I
I
don't think they
wouldn't
do.
personally say that they have minds, but then again, that might be like I don't know, very human egotism lens because we just kind of think that anything that doesn't have our same nervous system can't have these properties. But it seems to be present in all the things that tend to like have the properties of what people consider a mind. So I don't personally think that plants have a mind necessarily.
All right. So but you wouldn't say like would you say like a snail has a mind?
Hold on, let me search. Let me search this up. Hold on.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Like what you by mind, you just by definition, you just mean like some level of like like consciousness, right? Some first person POV or like.
Yeah, awareness of awareness, experiencing the experience, like that level of awareness. I don't think that it should just be, a being that reacts to the stimuli around it. I think it should be just a little bit deeper.
Right. So, because I think that kind of that what you're describing to me sounds like metacognition, and only human beings have metacognition.
So yeah, snails have snails at least have something that derives sentience, which would be like a nervous system or something of that sort. So, but how they use it, like it's basically like instinctful, like what their decision making is like for food and stuff like that. It's not like us where we like have quality and stuff like that, and we like we're making these concepts.
Yeah, but so does a Venus flytrap.
Huh?
So does a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, Venus flytrap. They're sentient, but they're not. They don't have a. I wouldn't say they have a mind because they're just
They're
going.
what now?
Venus flytrap.
They're sentient?
I say they're sentient. Yeah, I think they're sentient. I believe. But there's level of sentience, though. I'm not saying I like sentience us, but I think they're sentient.
And so, okay, that's interesting. What way are they sentient?
Well, they're obviously alive. They reproduce, and then they can make decisions for themselves. What I mean by decisions, I know it's instinctively, but they can still make decisions based off their nervous system. And then also they can have memories, and they can understand their past memories, even though these memories are just instinctively for their survival. I still think that's still some level of sentience they have.
So
Plants having nervous systems is
Yeah,
news to me.
you can say plants are like some form. Plants are like sentient in a sense if you really want to get down to it. But like, I don't think sentience necessarily entails that you're gonna have a
does
mind.
everything that's sentient have mind? Does everything that's sentient have mind?
For the record, I'm still here.
Yeah. We
Okay,
haven't been lost.
would you say like? That's a good example.
Is there like a prerequisite to have mind is to be sentient?
I would say it's a. I don't want to say it's necessary because I don't want to say it's necessary, but I do want to say it's sufficient enough. Because, like, for example, do you think like an ant has a mind?
No.
Yeah.
Even though we can acknowledge that they're sentient, they don't have a.
But and by mind, we just mean like I don't know if I like Clover's definition of mind. It seems like by that definition, only human beings are capable of having mind. Because the definition that Clover proposes sounds like metacognition, and only human beings are capable of metacognition.
I think as of what we know, human beings have minds, but I wouldn't say human beings exclusively are the only ones capable of having a mind.
Yeah, there's always like new things to learn. But I think like to me, in terms of the human context that I've heard the word mind in, like that's what I'm trying to build the concept around in my head. So like all I can really do is just
think
talk
of a
about,
human.
like, yeah, unfortunately.
that makes sense.
Like I don't know how else to think about it.
I think animals have minds. And person that's not human, animals that are non-human have minds.
Like I don't know what you mean by mind.
Yeah, maybe not that. Maybe not your definition of mind. Maybe like a definition that's a lot more liberal.
Yeah, yours would be much more inclusive to like bacterium and all sorts of things.
I mean, yeah, to some degree, yeah.
I would say, I think animals can have some form of mind because, like dogs, I would say dogs have like because they're like more complex animals because they can form relationships. They don't simply go based off instinctual things like food and shelter, you know. Because for example, they'll be so loyal to a homeless person even though they're not getting the instincts that they're evolved to have. So I think dogs have I think dogs have some level of mind, in my opinion.
And monkeys and cats are very complicated emotionally too.
Yeah,
They're more
it's
they're more for survival though, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. It's just that they don't understand. They can do these things, but they don't understand it. They don't understand what they're doing. They just have the ability to do it.
Yeah, but they have their experience in doing it though, right? They could
Yeah, they're experiencing doing it, but they don't. They
they
don't.
don't understand that they're experiencing doing it.
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't say that they understand their experience, right? They
not
could
so how we
they could
understand our
know
experience.
they know they're experiencing it, but they don't understand that they are experiencing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the kind of definition that Clover wants to use. Like you need for you something that has a mind needs to understand the experience. And I think I'm not too sure if I wanna how I feel about you
I
know
would say to have a mind like ours, like rational agents like ours, we need to understand. But I think a mind in general, I wouldn't say you have to understand the experience that you're going through.
yeah, I think you just need to be able to like experience it, right? I think snails experience things.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. The mind shit is like that's like one of the most complex shit. Like I'm still reading this fucking 300-page fucking shit to understand, bro, the mind and shit. So
W dedication, Jay.
I'm like the more I think about it, I could even be more liberal. I think like bacteria, maybe like even certain cells have
I
minds.
I don't think I know I don't now cells. I don't think they have mind. I don't see it. I don't understand. I don't even think bacteria has minds. I don't.
Yeah, like we could like some single cell, like some single bacteria that eats, hunts, maybe understands its environment, stuff like that. It's on water. I think these are organisms that seems to be like it's not in its own way able to understand its environment, so like and
Mhm.
eat and like grow
Are you
towards
saying
sunlight
like?
and stuff like that.
Are you saying because it's organic or natural, it's gonna already have a mind? Is that what you're saying?
No, I know. I mean, I think it has
Because I just don't think bacteria or cells like that have a
some
mind.
bacteria that's able to like eat, move around, search for food.
But that's just
Um,
biological. That's just the means of biology. I don't think that necessarily entails that it's
maybe like
as
learn, maybe learns uses environment in a way that is interesting.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that have a mind. I wouldn't. I just
Yeah,
can't see
I
it.
think this kind of like organisms, this small singular organisms develop something akin to like um beings that are like experience like doing something, like it's experiencing something. And
Mm,
it's not like, I think it's experiencing something.
mm.
Or clam or jellyfish.
I don't know. I still gotta read more on that shit. So
The jellyfish one is wild, to be honest. They're mysteries.
yeah, I
And
don't know.
if I go deeper, I don't see why I can't go deeper and just say like um I don't know why I can say like like DNA and atoms, all these things.
Now, Bobby.
Yeah, I don't know
You
if you say atoms will have some type of mind, bro.
Yeah,
You
but
know
my
what?
mind, yeah, I'm just meaning like some liberal use, maybe some ability to like. I'm not talking about like metacognition. I'm talking about um like something. I gotta find a better definition because metacognition. I don't like that word to describe minds. It needs something to be like more all inclusive. Like I don't know, like some ability to act. I guess. I don't know. It feels weird to say that human beings are the only ones that have minds. I don't like that. Or like we don't have these thresholds where something that stops having mind. I don't. I think that's also weird to me. Like we don't want to say like we're unsure if like snails or jellyfish have minds, but we are really sure that human beings have minds. I think that's weird also.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm still reading on to this shit, so but I'm a little bit more on the field. I'm trying to get my bases down because I'm gonna be a process naturalist, and then I'm gonna ask Missy. She still didn't send me the paper, but because she said foundationalism, I did a little summary. It sounds valid. I just want to read a paper on it at least.
Foundationalism. I don't know.
It's what she told me. It sounds valid. I'm like,
I think it's
you know,
valid, but I think there's other ways of justification than foundationalism. I think.
I just want to read more stuff like that. So it's going to remain
It,
agnostic towards it.
it takes you to like a very Christian or very like dogmatic stance from it, like something that's called ultimate truth. I'm not sure what that means there.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Christian, so it's kind of.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah, you're 25. You're pushing it.
I'm 27.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah, you should already have a wife and kids, nigga.
Hell no.
Nice ass house with a white fence around it with a dog barking.
With a snow bunny.
There is this.
All right, this nigga, bro.
With the
Although
babies whining in the background, hell yeah.
there is this Latina at work though, low key.
Bro, you gotta lock in, bro. Holy fuck. You worry, like, bro, you gotta lock in. You worry about Latinas at work, huh?
There's this one person.
bro. I'm not coming for no friendly shit.
Yeah, I remember here. You were coming at me at Theo's live.
Yeah, listen, bro. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyways.
Wait, the Christian Theo?
Yeah, I was on
like
his
that
live.
black guy?
Yeah, I was helping him out. Yeah.
I think we were talking about like
Sir, do you think
other justifications for like some stuff. I forgot.
Yeah, man, Bobby, you need to read up on adductive cases, bro. Like read up on like a Bayesian adductive understanding. Good.
What were you talking about in Theo's live again? I forgot.
Yeah, we were talking about like inductive versus adductive argumentations and like just like a transcendent being and in which we would give an argument for and how we would give an argument for this transcendent being based off of the data of this adductive case. But
yeah, I know it was that, but was it like specifically towards like I don't know, like universals or like?
no, I don't think we talked about. Well, I think we talked about universals, but I think we just skimmed over
it. Yeah, I think we're trying to say something. I don't think I was just. I think we're saying what accounts for the data for like something. You say, well, God could account for the data, and I was arguing that I'm not sure what other things can account for the data. I'm not too sure what particular topic we're talking about.
Sure.
I'm not sure we're just arguing about God simplicity or for something else.
I got you, bro. Yeah. So who takes a positive claim that all life is worthless?
Oh damn, Clover, I think that's you.
Like I'll debate anybody.
I'm sorry. I'm washing my face.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I. Oh, actually, yeah. Why? Do you wanna?
I can give my argument. I'm just gonna say that like. Depending on what we define value to be, it's going to be dependent on what we understand worthless to be.
Honestly, the hardest person to be doesn't have talent, doesn't have discipline. They just have willpower.
Yo, that's such a heat quote, bro. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's some anime shit, nigga.
Yeah, I wonder where you got that from. But
yeah,
I think
so you or Seer, yeah. Let me ask you. You in your view, like you in your view, like grape is still wrong, absent all minds, right? In your view, right?
Like the action or the stance? I mean, the standard or the action? Sorry.
The action, grape.
Sure. Like the action. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's always gonna be wrong.
Absent all minds.
Yeah, absent. Well, I don't believe there's an absence of all mind. So no.
Yeah, I'm saying like in the world, absent all minds, the grave still wrong.
Yeah, in some logically possible world, sure.
I'm not sure how does that work.
Okay, so I'm an idealist. So when you say like absent of all minds, I'm not gonna affirm that.
Oh, I see. Okay, at that point, if you like, so minds always exist in your
Yeah,
view.
there's gonna always be a mind that exists
Yeah.
to interpret these determinate content cases, and like just this intelligent mind that can understand these determinate content cases. I'm gonna conclude as like my standard for like what is wrong and what isn't. But like so,
That's crazy, Coco. You didn't say what's up to me.
Oh, sorry. I'm like barely alive. No, I love you,
I
man.
guess to give my argument. Sorry for interrupting
Racist.
you, Coco. Go ahead. I didn't. I have like bad like delay on my end. Go ahead, Coco.
Oh no, you're totally good. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wow,
just to give
Coco.
my argument that life isn't worthless. Like just obviously giving. Like I just need a clarification. When we say worthless, what worth are we going to be like inhabiting here? Like, just all life doesn't have what set of worth to make it worthless, I guess.
I think it's like some inherent word, I guess.
Sure, but like, what's going to be like? What are they missing?
What do you mean? What are they
Yeah,
missing?
what makes something worthless is going to be like the negation of some property or some concept or construct within it to make it absolutely worthless. So, like for example, I have a broken hammer versus a good hammer. I'm not going to pick the broken hammer because the broken hammer is worthless. I can't nail any nails with it. But I'm going to pick the good hammer because
It's a
the good
semantics
hammer has some
game.
quantity.
Oh no, like
Yeah, I'm basically saying, like, if you weren't there, then there wouldn't be any, like, observer to appraise it and then project their preferences and sentiment onto it and make a value decision based off it. Like, it's all... Fuck off. It's all based off of, like, value that we put onto things, and if we weren't here, then nobody would be projecting
Wait,
their preferences and whatnot.
do you not think that things still have value without a perception?
No. I think that they have quantitative value, but in that context, we would literally just be talking about the amount of something. Obviously, when we talk about what we value, it's about like preferences and stuff. Because more BOMBs strapped to your chest isn't better. You would rather have less than more. So more things doesn't mean more value. They're two different
That's fine. Yeah, sure.
concepts.
Things have quantitative value, but like,
Did you use the BOMB argument because Sears Arab?
I don't really give a fuck about where he's from.
yeah, so like, sure, we like quantitative value, but like, I don't think that that's the only value in which could uphold without a mind. So like, I think that if a human is not a p-zombie and can inhabit sets of phenomenology and sets of qualia, I believe that this person automatically has value. So
Okay, so what's phenomenology?
phenomenology is just something that the atheists goon over. That's like a correlation between some mind and some body phenomena, and to which we see like this mind and this body somehow aligning as one, whether it be like empirically or metaphysically.
Okay.
So like, if we can prove in some way that the mind has some type of value, just with rationality or an emotional understanding, and we can prove that this mind, no matter of any mind, can have some type of value. Just like taking at a face value that emotion, of course, is upheld higher than problem-solving skills, we can all agree that emotion exists without another agent. So emotion's going to be a quantity. That's not well. It's going to be quality that is not quantity given. So it's not like a measured or
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't fully know what you're talking about when you talk.
Yeah, I mean, I can try to explain it. So I'm just saying that emotion is a value. In order for something to be worthless, it has to be absent of any value. If life has value, then life isn't worthless. Life has value, therefore life isn't worthless.
Wait, slow down.
So oh, sorry.
Go back to that second premise. Wait, how did we establish life has value again?
Yeah, we're going to establish that life has value via emotion and qualia. We just need to demonstrate that emotion has. We just need to demonstrate that emotion is a value standard.
Wait, hold on.
You
Wait,
said
really quick.
earlier. Oh,
Wait.
goodness.
Oh, wait. Okay. I'm actually sorry to interrupt, but okay. So like, so I get what Sierra is saying. So whenever we say something has value, it's like in correlation to like some kind of goal, right? So like a hammer has value because you can use it to like nail nails, right? So whenever
Things
we're
being
saying
useful to us.
yes, whenever we're saying that like life is worthless, which I get, right? Because like we have like our opinions on life being meaningful, right? But like in an objective sense, like outside of any minds, is life really like worth it? Like what? Like I know this is kind of corny,
I'm not
like,
really
but
I'm not when I say life is worthless, I'm not even referring to like the experience of life, because I think not every experiencer, that might be kind of audacious of me to say as a privileged person, but I think most experiencers have experienced something that's worth experiencing to their perspective. I'm talking about like in general, like living things,
so
like how people prescribe value to them.
so I guess like via like an objective means, like what would it mean for like life to have like value, I guess.
Well,
And I guess maybe Sierra's argument is that like emotions exist, we can quantify them, and life has emotions and qualia, so therefore there's some kind of value that we can get from this.
You can quantify emotions? What?
Well, we can't quantify emotions in
Yeah, I
totality,
don't know
but
about
we
that.
can show show like a quality of emotion. That's all that really matters. Is like there's a
Like,
quality.
so wait, what? Okay, emotions has some kind of quality. What does quality mean there again?
Yeah, quality is just going to be like a set of worth. If I'm not like being circular, I don't know how else to like describe it. I'm guessing.
That's
I'm guessing I'm guessing Sorry, what?
To me, that's the issue that it runs into, is that it just kind of seems circular.
Well, sure, the semantical can seem circular. I mean, I can try to like think of a better definition on top of my head of what I mean by quality. I guess like quality is just going to be a set in which we can observe or not observe consciously of some existent thing or non-existent thing that has these like some attributable understanding and just an attributable understanding. Well, no, that wouldn't work because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I chose all life is worthless for a specific reason. Because I was gonna, Jesus Christ. I was gonna use like value or like no value or not valuable instead. I was like, no, because like valuable kind of pertains to us being able to value something, like the able at the end of it. I'm capable of valuing a brush that works. So like it can be valuable because it can do a thing. So I chose worthless for a specific reason, because I don't think that it has worth, like outside of the perspective. I understand that you think that like things like the mind can't be taken away, like there's always going to be some type of mind, if that's what you said earlier. I can't really remember.
Yeah, like I'm gonna take an idealist position.
Okay, I don't know what that is. But anyways,
basically it means that everything that exists is simply like, okay, this is like dumbing it down like really really down, but like everything that exists is basically like a dream. It exists inside of a mind. So everything, all of us, everything is simply like inside the mind of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I'm just gonna. So Clover, when you bring up like this worthless topic, in which way are you quantifying worthless? How are you parsing worthless out?
Quantifying worthless.
Yeah, how are you parsing worthless out?
Parsing? What does...
Yeah, how are you describing worthless to be?
What does worthless mean here?
Yeah.
Having no value.
Yeah, it has no worth. I think that worth is something that we put onto things, but it doesn't stick. It's just real in our perspective.
Does does emotion is emotion worth?
I mean, yeah, if something has like a more positive emotion to it that can make you prefer something, yeah, you're projecting sentiment as well as preference onto things.
Yeah, just to hyper focus on human life here, just to like get a standard. Does humans have emotion?
Yeah, I think that they have emotions. I think emotions are like a process, though. I don't think it's like a, you know.
So if you're using if you're using worthless to just mean has no value, and we understand that emotion inherently has value, and people intrinsically have emotion.
I think that emotion has value to us, though. That's what I don't think anything has any qualitative value, because that's applied. I don't think that's observed.
Wait, do you think like emotions aren't going to be like ascribed without like, okay, there's one person on Earth, okay, and it's hypothetical, and this person's just like any other human. Can this person feel emotion?
Yeah.
Okay, is that emotion valuable
to them? Because it helps them make decisions.
Okay, so it has some type of value, so it's not inherently worthless.
Well, it has value to them.
So when you say all life is worthless, you're just meaning all life is objectively worthless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you demonstrate that?
I think that any worth that is put onto something is just like I said, a projection of sentiment and preference. I don't think that that's something that you're actually observing about the thing. I think it's just how much use it has to you and how much it just like reminds you of either yourself or things that you like.
Yeah, so from the get-go, like, yeah, it was a conversation about like, do things have like some kind of like objective worth? I mean, sure, like we have our opinions on like life being like meaningful and worth something, but like if there was no minds, like would everything have like some kind of worth? And I don't think there's like some kind of objective worth.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of curious, Tim, what do you think about this prompt?
I think it's metaphysically confused.
Explain, right? Elaborate.
I agree. Because you're saying you're asking is life, right? Some configuration that obtains within some spectrum of positive attribute and substance, right?
Yeah.
Is now defined by negative properties. Right? Because worthlessness already presupposes that there are objects that are considered of worth in existence, and so that disjunct has to exist for something to be considered worthless in the first place.
Well, just because they're like that's the whole crux.
This is devoid of. I'm sorry, I'm still talking. We don't get to go. Oh my God, I was asked a question. I'm still talking. Right? You can giggle all you want. I sat here and let you pontificate without interruption. I kept myself on mute. I was respectful. Okay. I expect the same. Thank you. Right? And so, if you're already saying that something is defined by negative properties, can you please identify for me what exists that you now can say it has objective worth, right? That we can use as the differentiator to then justify the position that life is worthless.
I mean, I don't fully know what you're talking about, but the thing that I jumped in there because there was like a pretty sizable pause. Anyways, you said like that there's things that are already considered to have worth. And yeah, they're considered to have worth, but that doesn't give them worth.
No,
That's kind of the crux of my whole argument.
I think what
And
Tim is
also,
saying.
I don't think, hold on, just one more thing. I don't think it's a negative. I think it's neutral. Because when we say worthless, we're not talking about -1, -2. We're saying 0.
Look, Clover. I think what Seer and Tim are saying here is that you've identified worthless to have some kind of meaning. You know,
To have some positive ontology,
yeah.
right?
So you've kind of like put this like cart, I guess, before the horse, where it would have been easier. Maybe you had to rephrase the prompts, but if you've now given this life some value, which is worthless, like Tim and Tia are not asking for this analysis of how you came to this worthless value statement. Even we understand, like semantically, I get what you mean. Is like you want to say something like devoid of absent all minds. You know, this one you want to define worthless to mean like absent absent all minds, not having like it's like a perceptive kind of thing. But what Seer and Tim are trying to say here is that you've given this some kind of negative value operator, and we need to understand how you got here.
Well, I don't know how you get negative from worthless. I think it's pretty obvious that it means nothing, and nothing is more like 0 rather than negative points or positive. That's what I'm saying. Nothing is negative or positive. We put negative and positive onto things based off of our preferences and our sentiment, and everything is just 0. It's neutral.
So when
How
you
is less negative?
wait,
How is less neutral?
Wait, can I just ask her a quick question?
Yeah.
So Clover, when you're using worthless, you're just basically saying like all life is just neutral, or all life is just it's just life. Is that what you basically saying?
Yeah, the qualitative value that we project onto things, it's an application. I don't think it's something that's actually being observed. I think it's being observed from our perspective, but I think we get that from our perspective. I think some people just aren't good enough at identifying that this is like how they feel, and then that's not something that they're getting from viewing the object or the theme or whatever itself.
Yeah. And you're saying without that, life is just neutral.
Yeah. It's just neutral. Yeah.
Maybe like Tim, and maybe not to avoid talking past. Maybe what's being said is like in some nihilistic kind of operator where life is just it's not like a negative operator, but like it's like neutral.
I don't know. I don't know any semantic framework in which less infers some kind of neutral position. Number one. Number two, I don't know any semantic framework in which worth has a neutral position, unless you're talking inside some kind of like structural metaphysic, like I'm making reference to which emotional content is so far downstream. Worth isn't an emotional disposition. Worth is in context to meaningful instantiative configurations of reality, right? Things that have worth maintain positive properties and obtain meaningfully, meaning they become artifacts within the contingent space. And that invokes worth, absent any emotional anchoring. And so to say something is worthless or is to literally invoke that there's an absence. It's a negative property. You can't semantically work your way around that. There's no framework that exists.
So maybe there's another.
Just because I told you so isn't an explanation.
Maybe there's another way to use. Maybe there's another word that Clover is trying to say here that's besides worthless. Maybe there's another word that could be used here outside worthless that could also frame Clover's position very well. That's not worthless, but maybe life is devoid of
value. Life has zero value.
Just another way of saying worth, pretty much.
So worth, value, utility. Does life serve some naturalistic utilitarian function? Yes. Since it has utility, it has value, and since it has value, it has worth. I don't even need God to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Wait, life has utility?
Well, hold on. Do you need in order to say that something has like zero value objectively, do you need to have something that has some kind of value to show what value means?
Yeah, like a hammer doesn't have any value as a screwdriver. And that becomes a valid statement and a sound statement because it doesn't fit the utility and purpose
Wait, Tim, can you
of a
define value?
screwdriver.
Can you define how you're using that word value? Because maybe you're not using those words the same way.
Wait, actually, this is a good point. Like, okay, so like the hammer only has value in correspondence to a goal. So like Clover, whenever you're saying like life is worthless, what would it mean for life objectively to have some kind of worth?
I wouldn't know, but I'm saying like I don't see that goal or worth or whatever as being objective. So that's the whole reason why I think that it's just zero.
Because I understand Clover's point to me to use value. When Clover used that word value, what is meant there's like mind like stance independence, I guess, something like that. But I don't think you're using the word value the same way that Clover is using that word value. I think you're using it to mean like when you say
Yeah,
the
she's
hammer
using
has
it as
value.
subjective inference, right?
Like wouldn't would reality because life is part of reality. Like will reality be what's the word?
Like
Will
the
it
purpose
be
of existence is to exist. It's not that complicated.
Maybe Tim.
Yeah, but what
Let
about
me ask the question this way, Tim. In the world where only that one hammer exists, devoid of all minds, does this hammer have value?
Yes, in the sense that it's a meaningful configuration, right? This is absent emotional content and mind dependence, right?
wait.
The fact that it is instantiated as a configuration within reality, as a physical artifact, it's going to have worth and value just from a structural sense.
So
Wait, so
yeah,
you're saying the fact that
we're using the word value differently.
Wait, so you're saying that the fact that it exists, it has value? Is that what you're
Its
saying?
value.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, you're probably talking about a quantitative value. There's one
No,
hammer.
I'm talking about a probabilistic value.
Yeah, like someone could use it to do something.
No, it has nothing to do with
not even that.
utility. Just the fact that its
existing.
configuration has obtained in such a way that it now takes up space as an artifact, right? In a probabilistic sense, it has value because it obtained.
So, Tim,
Yeah, so Clover. So
can you?
basically, since it exists.
I just want Tim to just quickly define the word. Like, how do you use that word value? Like, what does the value mean to you, Tim? What does that mean there?
Well, value is just in reference to like intelligible configurations, right? So if something is absent value, it's absent some positive property.
Yeah, okay, so I get what you're saying.
And only artifacts that obtain meaningfully carry positive properties. I don't have to name what the properties are. It just has to have positive properties for it to have value.
And then since it exists, it's gonna have positive properties because it's existing.
Yes.
Does non-existence have negative properties?
Well, it's parasitic upon the positive.
I
you
get
can't
that,
have
but
negative properties without first having positive ones.
But I understand that existence has positive properties, but does non-existence have negative properties, I guess?
I guess, yeah, because it would be the absence of positive properties. That's why we say non-existence, worthless.
I think you guys are going like two different ways, like how you guys are using value and stuff like that. So Padre, you're saying that since it exists and it's gonna already have positive properties because it's existing, so it's gonna have value. Clover is saying that in it itself, while no observer or mind, it's not gonna have value itself. So it's like so you guys just gotta talk about which one of you guys' worldviews makes more sense.
You're talking past each other in terms of that word value. That's all that's gonna happen here.
I mean, I don't even think that matters. Just they gotta like convince us like which worldview makes more sense at that point because they're just drastically different worldviews, so they're not gonna come to one cohesive conclusion.
Value either becomes fundamental or not.
I guess what I don't understand, what I don't get here is like I can imagine like non-existence, and to me, it's some I don't even know what it means to say a state of affair of non-existence. I'm not sure what that means there, but something like philosophical nothing.
But that possibility of being able to even describe a philosophical nothingness is parasitic upon something first existing as a disjunct referent. Because nothing is the contra negative to something.
Yeah.
And
Contrapositive, sorry. It's the contrapositive. I used the wrong word. It's the contrapositive to something.
Padre, and are you using worth basically? Are you using worth as in something that is just something positive, and then if this existing is positive, so if that's the case, then it has to have worth because, okay, is that what you basically?
Yeah, that's how we. Well, okay. It would have to have it for us to derive it.
Okay, I get his argument.
Like, unless you're a content internalist and you're just prescribing transcendental properties to brain states.
Yeah.
Then sure, if everything's in your head, then there's nothing to provide distinction for value, worth, or anything to be contrasted against. You need differentiation.
I guess this is like when people say like God is all good, but I'm not too sure what it means. Like, it's this kind of argument where like God is all good, but evil doesn't actually have ontology, something like that. Or evil
doesn't have its ontology. You'd have to hold on to like some kind of substance metaphysics to say that evil has ontology, and then you just simply ask, can you identify the substance that is evil?
I like Lestat's version of evil. Evil is a point of view.
Yeah, I get it. I think that might be I feel like there's something still missing here. I just
Me
cannot think
personally,
about it.
I think both of them are bringing up good points. I just think
there's just something that it might just be some weird intuition. There's just something weird to say that a philosophical nothing is it has negative property. There's something about it that just feels that sentence sounds wrong, odd to me.
Give me a positive property of nothing.
I don't know if
exactly.
it has. I don't think it has any properties.
It can only be described through negative ones.
Yeah, right? Nothingness is trying to describe a lack of something. So I think that's why it's a negative property.
But I think even if you're describing it, you're putting a property on it.
Yeah, like a philosophical nothing to me doesn't. I don't know. Like, to me, to put a property on a philosophical nothing doesn't sound it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
And so we would say that it can be described by using negative properties, and that negative properties don't exist in any real sense, that they're only parasitic upon positive properties, and so nothing itself is parasitic upon something.
Yeah, okay, I see. So
I don't know what that means.
It borrows from.
I see what you mean.
Using parasitic in a philosophical context, all we're saying is that it borrows from it.
I see what you're saying now.
For you to say that nothing exists, like nothing has ontology, it has substance, right, and like actual meaning, right? When I say that it's parasitic, I'm saying it's borrowing from things that exist. You can only consider nothing because there are things.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
How do you consider nothing? You can only consider nothing?
You can consider the absence of things, but from absence you can't consider things.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I do see. The philosophical nothing will have, for it to even be there.
Stop placating this man.
You need something to
Stop
feed.
Stop placating him. You don't know what he's talking about, neither do I.
No, I do not.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wait. Wait.
Alright, you're not gonna.
But I do see what you're talking about. To bring about a philosophical nothing, you do need something to be parasitic upon it to even get there. I see what I mean. How?
So it's something to compare nothing from something to.
Well, it needs to eat away at the positive properties. Yeah.
If you have a parasite on you, you should probably get rid of that.
Christina.
So you wouldn't have that in your life.
And so, back to what I was originally saying, right? We're saying that there's this positive property, right? And that this positive property is absent positive
There's ways to get rid of a parasitic property on you.
Yeah, it's that. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're lovely.
The jokes write themselves.
Yeah. Right? And so, like, forget what the words say. You have positive property, not how.
Okay, so that makes sense, and I think this is what Seer was trying to say too. I think Seer was trying to kind of say almost.
Seer's one of my students, and yes, that's kind of what he was trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So Clover, right? You have positive, and then you're saying psych. How?
I think but the problem. I don't think Clover is defining value the same way you're using the word value. I'm pretty sure all Clover is saying there is like something like in the same way when we say like someone's an anti-realist about morals or something like that. It's like it's not so much of a value statement, but rather just like a lack of like an anti-realist about values, I guess. You know.
Yeah, I think probably it's just projected sentiment and perfection. Preference.
I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, I think both of y'all got good points. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not fully sure what Padre's saying.
Padre is saying he uses worth. Like worth is different compared to yours because, like I said, if something existing, like we brought up the hammer, it's gonna have worth because it's existing, and existence is a positive factor. And that's what we're gonna derive worth off this positive factor. So the fact that it's existing, it's gonna have worth.
Yeah, and less is gonna be like a negative factor. So the word worthless has like this. It's like you've already attributed like something to it. But I understand what.
Sorry, but Padre, you think that things have worth because they exist?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's like in a very real sense, right? And it's mind dependent. It's mind independent, right? Whether or not I have some kind of disposition towards an object does not remove its inherent worth, right? As an object that is obtained meaningfully, right? That has nothing to do with it.
Wouldn't that just be quantitative worth?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
No, because it's a variation. Like each iteration itself is going to have its own worth.
But where
right? Each artifact, because it's its own artifact in comparison to other artifacts that may even be like it, because it's its own configuration that is a collection of positive properties within that configuration, it's going to have worth.
I think that you just value uniqueness, which is cool. I do too. But I don't think that people can tell me why something is valuable without telling me why they value it. That's the issue that that's the reason why I decided to create the prompt.
Well,
Coco created it, but it's my idea.
Well, it doesn't matter whether or not I value it, right? This is independent of my own disposition, right? These things would have to be present and already have this conjunct that we call worth for me to associate it with having worth.
Well, Clover, do you think
it has to carry it?
I'm gonna Clover. From Tim's point, I'm just curious. Do you think existence has more value than non-existence?
I don't think that it has value, but I think that if an observer values it, then they're capable of putting value onto something. Like, I don't think that it would make any logical sense for us to value nothing over something, because there's no, like there's nothing to project it onto. There's just nothing there.
So you truly believe a mind is needed to give something.
I do. Yeah. At least qualitatively, not quantitatively.
Interesting.
To answer your question, Jay, I think, or Jay 2.0 down there, I think that only quantitative value is objective. I think that qualitative is subjective.
What is quantitative value?
Quantitative value is specifically referring to the quantity of something. Like, you have 3 apples. But, like, that may not be valuable to me qualitatively if I don't really like apples. Like, I would be like, oh, big whoop, you have 3 apples. 2 apples would be better to me because I like apples less. Like, if your doctor prescribed you a meal plan and he was like, you need to eat at least this many apples, I would be hoping, if I didn't like apples, that he would say to eat less apples, so that would have more value.
So you think numbers are like objective in some sense?
Not the symbol.
Only the number one.
The value. Like if
the only object numbers that exist are 1 and not 1.
Okay, well, we can't get into that because I'm not a math person, so I'm agnostic.
Yeah, sorry for the crinkling. Oh no, but like I don't know. I guess I kind of wanted to add to what Clover said, but like if I exist, right, and there's like 1 cocoa, then like I had like quantitative value would be there's 1 cocoa in the room. Like cocoa just exists as 1. I don't know if that made any sense. But I mean, Clover covered it perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty bad at articulating this, but I do my best.
It's kind of odd to say that. At least to me, it feels weird to say that. My intuition wants to say something that existence has more value than non-existence. Maybe something like a weird intuition pump that's going on here.
I'll be honest, Bobby. You'd have to concede asymmetric grounding for truth, content externalism, and correspondence. Those are the 3 linchpins for my position.
I would think that you probably just value existence because, you probably exist. I mean, I think that you exist, but like, I don't know. It's a philosophical conversation. I don't want to bring that shit up because
I just think y'all using words just differently.
What content externalism is what is that there again? Is that just to say that we think
it's a way of explaining correspondence. So content externalism, all that's saying is that your content is derived from objects external to yourself, right? So like your brain doesn't invent the object and the relata and qualia that is from a rock. The rock exists externally, and your relation with that rock provides the qualia and the relata of the rock.
And then you relate that back to correspondence theory.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last
asymmetric, right? So these, like I was saying, these configurations, because they meaningfully obtain, are going to have worth because they're configurations of positive properties, right? And so for us to get to the point where we can ascribe worth to it, it has to carry that predicate as a property down the line. It's asymmetric. We discover worth. We don't prescribe worth.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So then why do people like feel differently about certain things when they
Because we
give
live in
their
a world of
description?
variation.
I know, but if it's not there, like if it's not as intrinsic to the rock as the rock being blue, then why isn't like everybody saying, yeah guys, the rock is blue? Like they value certain smoother rocks because they're good for skipping, you know, like
Well, that
that's
goes
not.
into purpose, but we're talking just like at the very base of it, right? You can come into like, oh, this rock has this particular value because X, Y, and Z, but the rock is already configured in such a way that you're already going to get to the point where you say it's good at skipping on water. It already has the property. You're just affirming it. You're not prescribing the property. You're acknowledging its existence already there.
But we only value it for that because we value the activity that we're trying to use it for. So I get what you're saying, and I really like the way you said that because now I know what you're talking about. At least I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I have a better understanding of what it is.
I
But
I
I
think there
feel
is a
like that's
downside
still.
here to what Tim is saying. Like Tim, at this point, I don't know if anything is, in your view, what is worthless? Because it seems like everything will always have words. There's nothing in your view that's worthless.
No, there's like, unless you're talking about, like, it depends on what domain you're referencing, right? If in some like phenomenological like subjective inference, something could be worthless in that perspective. But if we're talking outside of just that singular perspective, it's still going to maintain worth because it
Exactly.
has positive properties, right? Which means that the issue isn't whether or not this thing has worth. The issue is whether or not you are capable of acknowledging the property and representing it accordingly.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
since
saying. In
since
the
you have the possibility of misrepresentation, you can misrepresent those positive properties and come to the conclusion that it's worthless.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the latter. I'm not talking about someone's subjective notion. I'm talking about, in your view, the latter, by virtue of something just having like some existence and positive property. I'm not too sure you could ever say something is worthless.
Yeah, nothing is worthless.
And then I'm not too sure, like, if everything is if everything is full of word, like, what, doesn't the word itself just become kind of meaningless?
No,
Like, I know.
everything has worth because it can be evaluated, be given valuation,
Well,
right?
I
So
guess I'm
like
saying,
Silver was saying,
if
it
everything has word, then nothing has word.
no, no. Keep going downstream, right? It has these positive properties, and that gives it the capacity of what we call worth, right? How that worth is expressed is going to be in variation, right? Just because everything has worth doesn't mean that everything now has the same utility and the same value. No, right? It has value, but that value is going to be in differentiation to other artifacts. Its worth then is indexed to other artifacts in variation. Its utility indexed in the same way, right? Just because something has worth, well, what kind of worth? How is that worth expressed? Then you get into phenomenology.
I think where
Mm.
my disagreements would come from in this is that I wouldn't describe, except for existence, because I understand like there being something there and there not being something there. But again, I would more describe that as quantitative when it comes to value. When it comes to values, I I wouldn't prescribe them as positive. I would say that they're all neutral, that they're just values, and we value them for something that we want to use it to do, and something that reminds us of things we prefer, and so on and so forth.
What is it? What is a neutral property?
neutral is just how things exist without us viewing them and being like, oh, I like this, or I don't like that, or I can use that. Like, I think all of it is equal in the sense that it's all just neutral, it's all just zero, like worthless. Like I said, I think that we add and subtract based off of, like, from our experience. I don't think that we have the ability to like change the properties of these things, of course, but like from our perspective, we add and subtract and we create our concepts based off of the feelings that we associate with these things. Make Pokemon great again.
I mean, I guess so. So if you're more continental than analytical, I get that.
What does that mean?
Continental philosophy has to do more with like the what its likeness of existence as opposed to just existence pro total, right? It has to do with like the way you've been describing things has to do with like what we would call subjective value assessment, right? How you emotionally relate to an object. It's also called phenomenology. It's a major like subsection of continental philosophy.
Okay. And the
And
analytical?
that kind of disconnect happens quite often between people who are more continental and analytical. So I'm sorry, I'm really bad with continental philosophy.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I don't even I don't even know how it relates to it. So, like, I haven't engaged with any of the literature, so I would never like assert something if I don't know what I'm asserting.
Oh, phenomenology. It's like if we're talking about like how do we access truth, right? Phenomenology is the door for us from our perspective. But when talking about like ontology or meta-ontology, phenomenology is actually at the bottom, right? So like what continental philosophy will say is they invert it and they say that your experience and how you feel about things provide explanatory primacy, right? It's that is how you explain truth. Where people who do analytic philosophy, like ontology and meta-ontology, we say no because you can't trust your seemings, and it's the other way around, where regardless of how I may feel like in disposition to an object, there are things about it that are true regardless of how I may feel or whether or not I acknowledge it with my own mind.
Okay.
I'm thinking about what you said here, Tim, about everything. There's nothing that's worthless. Everything has words, but it's different degrees of words.
Sure, from our perspective, there's degrees of worth. I can't look at something just because it doesn't meet some utilitarian, quota in my mind and say that it's worthless. Like it still has worth. It just doesn't have utility for me.
It just feels like I might not be saying right, but it just feels weird to say. Like it feels like you're bite. There's this bullet being bit. If everything has word, it just seems to be the case that word just becomes somehow useless at that point.
Oh, to me, it just seems like if life is, and really and truly, it's supposed to be like all things are worthless. That's my view. But this seemed a little bit more, inflammatory. But yeah, damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Wow.
There was someone on TikTok earlier. I think I hopped on his live like a day or two ago. I'm not too sure if anyone's seen him, but I guess he's pro extension, mass extension of human beings or whatever. Yeah,
That's what Kane has asked me if I was. That's so funny.
No, I don't think that's what you're doing. Like he was actually like pro like mass extinction, pro like euthanization and stuff like that. Um,
Oh
I'm pro
yeah.
church. I'm pro church. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's seen him. I saw his live like once, and he basically was advocating like he had like 100 follow views or whatever on his
Well,
live, and he was advocating that human beings should all
just
all die, all unalive.
necktie.
Well, like yeah, if you're a moral subjectivist, that becomes the end game,
Wait,
right?
what?
I don't
Because
know
right
about
now the
that.
subjective view is the reduction of harm and suffering. And what's the easiest way to make sure that there is no harm or suffering?
I don't know if you need to be a moral subjectivist to get to such. I don't think you need to do
Well,
that.
moral objectivism doesn't say that like morals exist to reduce harm. Like that's the goal. That's the ends of moral
Yeah.
proposition, right? And so, like, if the means of moral propositions are to reduce harm and suffering, then the only rational disposition to hold is why reduce it when you can eradicate it? And what's the motivation that stops you from the eradication? There really isn't one, because that's the best solution.
Yeah, and I guess that's what he was saying. So I basically, yeah, that's what he was saying more or less. But I
Mm-hmm.
questioned that. I went up on his live and I questioned like, all right, let's just say it's the case, but the reason given the harm reduction, I guess justification was like suffering. He doesn't want to exactly. He thinks suffering is bad, and I'm not too sure why I should like. Let's say I'm a subjectivist as well. I'm not too sure why I should believe like all suffering to be bad. Like
Yeah.
No, it serves a utility. There's utilitarian purpose in suffering, believe it or not.
yeah.
Yeah, like
So
tattoos and stuff.
why even when we talked about harm reduction and veganism and stuff like that,
Oh, I
I
hate
don't
that
know.
kind of fucking
Me
distinction
too.
ratio.
I don't think it leads to the conclusion of like mass extinction of the human population. I
No,
think
veganism doesn't lead to the mass extinction of the human population.
yeah, but if we were
But
just if we're just talking about like harm reduction and stuff like that, like
mhm.
I don't know why we should go to the idea of like like the mass annihilation of like the human population. I think using suffering as this like justification doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it seems like an excuse just to like he just wants everyone to unalive. And also, I don't think that he wants that because it goes
No, he
against.
wants that.
Mm,
I was talking to him for like an hour.
I think he wants
Like he
attention.
even
Yeah,
has a
I don't.
Discord about it.
I think he wants someone to pat his head and tell him he's such an edgy boy and that he's so
He,
bold and unique. And he just
like
says something and
this is
people.
his words. This is his words. He has a Discord about it that they talk about it in, and even people, I guess people has reached out to him about like assisted unaliving, but he doesn't want to do that. In fact, he rather you follow his cause. Um, but when you follow his cause, I guess he wants to like promote. Um, he wants to promote like more like legal euthanization,
Yeah, that's
legal
wild to
euthanization and
me.
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's
To I guess aid towards the mass reduction, the mass reduction of human beings. So this is
Hmm.
I think he's very serious about whatever he's saying. I just don't like his reasoning. I just don't think suffering is good. Because when I keep asking him like why I should think all suffering to be bad. Like I could agree like maybe some unnecessary suffering is not
Mm-hmm.
useful, but I'm not too sure why I think all suffering should be like bad and that should be the reason for like mass unaliving. But and he kept avoiding that question. So I think that's dangerous because I don't think he's fully fleshed out his position.
I think that's
I
extremely
mean, he had like a
yeah.
dangerous.
hundred
No
people.
one, no one should work out and strengthen their body because it hurts, and that kind of suffering is just bad.
Yeah.
Everybody should
Yeah.
just be lazy, fat slobs. I say this being a fat slob at the moment, but
Well,
that's
you
health
don't have like
related.
100. You don't have like 100 people like viewing you and actually like taking you like actually DMing you for like this. I'm like it was kind of worrying. I don't know. It was that he had that many people actually like listening to him and actually taking him
Oh,
seriously.
yeah. Bobby, this is just an entailment of no longer having a shared ontology.
Yeah, yeah. But even then, it's worrying.
When you don't have a grounding relation, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. You get people like him, I guess.
Yeah. Ooh, I got a neat question for you because you're kind of like one of those causal infinitists guys, too. If I
Mhm.
grant you an infinite causal regression, how do you explain persistence of identity over transformation?
What does that mean there?
So as a state is progresses, right? Its configuration changes and its state is differentiated from a prior state. How
Hmm.
does it maintain its identity?
I don't see why it has to.
No, it would have to. How do you maintain your identity even though you're under a constant state of change?
The the identity could be. Hmm. Hmm. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's
Um.
going to be hard because you have a recursive identity persistence problem.
Wait. How would you even? How do you solve this under like uh a, under a model that's not like a like infinite regress? How would that be
On the
solved? Even
structural closure constraints,
explain.
you would have to have a proximal cause from which all derivative states maintain a linkage so that persistence of identity is grounded.
Hmm. So
Hmm.
you have this first.
I'm
Wait.
writing a paper
But
on it
even then,
right
why do
now.
you?
I'm about to
You
drop this
wouldn't
shit.
need a god for this though.
No, you need a proximal cause,
Yeah, you need a
which
proximal cause, but
then
you would need a god.
raises the prior probability of what that cause would be.
I don't. Or you just need a proximal cause. I don't know if it needs to be like some.
But it would raise the prior probability of what that cause would be. You'd have to update your priors.
I would just update to like some initial state, I guess. Like something like J Mike or Rockster. They usually just make some move like that, or like
Yeah, sure. I'll give you the initial state.
you know. Um,
How does differentiation persist as fundamental?
I guess in the same way that I'll I'll just
So
mirror
that
the
initial
same.
state would
I'll
have to
mirror the
write.
same move that you make. I'll just deny any mental.
Mental content?
Yeah.
I don't deny mental content. I just get there later. It's downstream.
Yeah, I'll just mirror the same move. I don't see any reason that it needs a mind. I guess,
It would have a mind. It would be a mind.
but why would that be the case?
It would be structural entailments, right? Within structural closure, its relation is completely internally maintained.
And this
So
can be
any
like some
knowledge
natural
about
disposition.
itself, it doesn't have dispositions in the way we have dispositions.
I feel like God has natural dispositions. Like I think God has a natural
Mm,
disposition to create. I don't think God cannot create.
I wouldn't consider that a disposition.
You wouldn't think that's God. You don't think God creating is not a disposition.
Because a disposition entails that they could choose either to or not to, and in sense in talking about like some necessary modality, right? Its expression can only be representative of what it is, right? There is no disposition to be had. It merely just expresses itself as it is. That's it. The dispositions are a contingent configuration. It would have to have the possibility, the capacity to misrepresent itself, and it can't. It can only be what it is.
like, but God does have natural dispositions, though. You'd agree with that, right?
Hold on,
No,
really quick, really
I
quick,
don't
really
think
quick.
God has
Wait,
any
guys.
dispositions.
Well, Cease to Know is in the live stream. Happy birthday, Cease to Know.
Yes, happy birthday, Cease. We
His
love
birthday
you.
was yesterday.
Oh, I have a neat little rhetorical argument on trans identities. I've started pitching a little bit. I started pitching a little bit to Cease, but I have it hammered out now.
Wait, Tim, you don't think God has natural dispositions?
Not in that way. If we're gonna say because a disposition it already carries with it in entailments of
Guapo, I have a question
possibility,
for you.
right? It carries, it's loaded, it's metaphysically loaded with the entailment of possibility. A disposition is so, in as much as it could be one way or another, right? There's always the possibility of this thing being not the way that it is.
Guapo, I
Just
have a
happens
question
to be
for
this
you.
way.
What do you consider
Like,
the
But
omni
within the
property to be?
necessary modality, there is no way in which it could not be anything other than what it is. So there isn't a disposition.
I have a
There's
question
just
for
the
you.
position.
I have a question for you, Padre Guapo.
Shoot.
Well, it's like a twofold question. First, or threefold, more accurately. First, when you say disposition, do you take a disposition relation to be talking about a fact about a thing, like structurally, or if you were to model the thing, the disposition relation would be represented as like a sort of power to enact or entail that which it's disposed to? Or do you think that disposition is like a counterfactual relation where it talks about the possibility and or plausibility of one thing to another?
I would go more with the third. That's what I've been explaining.
Okay. Well, I would say then that you can say God has dispositions. I personally don't think that's how dispositions work, but I was more so asking because I feel God doesn't have a structure. He's pre-structural. And so any fact about a structure or physis cannot be predicated of God in a non-analogical sense. And when you predicate it of God in an analogical sense, it has to be with relation to the effects of God, not to the actuality of God, because God's actuality is pre-structural. It's not something you can quantify over in any metaphysical model. So it would be that type of invariant thing that's presupposed in every metaphysical model, that which minimally grants it the ability to retain coherency. But since you
Yeah.
believe...
I've identified that as a triadic model of potence, form, and relation.
We'd probably agree on that. But
Yeah.
now that you said that dispositions are counterfactual, you can actually say that God has dispositions without being incoherent, because then you could say the disposition is just counterfactually relating to the model to which the effects being measured are being observed. And what that really means is because
No, I got you. Yeah, you're right. You got me on that.
Yeah.
I have no issue saying no, I was wrong on that. So no, you got me on that. Yeah. So God would have dispositions in that regard.
That's why I asked, is because I think that you implicitly understand dispositions in the real sense, not the counterfactual sense, where disposition talks about a structural fact about something C, where if C is disposed to the other relata, so what C, like the disposition relation, it has C is disposed to whatever, the thing that it's disposed to, that relation is just a fact about C, that which C can, and when I say can, I just mean has the power to enact the relata. And the power there is speaking about a structural fact, not a counterfactual fact of possibility. And so you can retain dispositions in, like, let's say you're a necessitarian or something. You can retain dispositions as taking, like, the power to X as a primitive that talks about, like, a plausible consistency. Like, if you were to model it synthetically with the thing that you're saying it's disposed to, you could say that the thing has the power to enact it, so it's more expected in a general case, but it doesn't imply a real counterfactual modality.
I think Payson said this before, to like escape like motor collapse or something like that.
Maybe.
It sound like when like is it dispensationalism or something? I don't know. It's like some kind of way to like escape God, having some need to like create or whatever.
Well, you just say that. Well, there's an issue where you predicate things onto God, and that goes over all types of predication. So, synthetic and analytic, right? So, like, if you were to say God relates to the universe in this way, there's an issue there, which is you're quantifying over God, which is putting him inside the model. But God would be pre-quantificational, so you can't quantify over God. And so, like, in some sense, you can't really say that God exists, but God is what would be required for existence, if that makes more sense. So these issues like modal collapse and things like that, which I affirm modal collapse, but that's just because of my understanding of ex nihilo. The issues are only really present if you treat God as an object to be quantified over, and you don't. There's really no reason to treat him like that. It's just kind of like this logical positivist hellhole that philosophy is in right now. That
See,
makes us feel like we need to treat everything like a math equation when it
I
doesn't.
yeah, you like will affirm ex nihilo. I don't.
You don't think that God
Right?
created ex nihilo?
No, I would say ex structura, right? That God is the necessary structure,
Yeah, but
right?
all models. Well, all ex nihilo means is that God is like pre anything in existence, that he's pre-time, he exists alone. That's kind of essentially what it means in a non-esoteric way to describe it. It's
Yeah.
like the
Well,
aloneness. So God is
yeah.
the
Well,
foundational principle. So like you would probably, I mean, I
sure.
if you're drawing a
I can
really
affirm
nice
that.
semantic distinction, then sure, yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
would be
Well.
ex structura then,
Yeah.
not ex
Yeah,
nihilo.
because you have internally coherent and self-sustaining structure, which is the necessary structure, God. And then you have the contingent domain, which exists disjunctively, which is just the derivatives of that structure in variation.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, I would say that, I would maintain my epistemic humility and limit, and say that this does not give an exhaustive account or description of God, but in the most that's sounding a little hubristic. But for
No, I
me,
agree. I don't think you can
this is the
describe God.
most this is the most coherent way to express how God exists in conformance with our own epistemic limits, right? So, yes, I can agree with you that God, in a way, would exist pre-structure, but I have no way of justifying that position. So the best I can get to is that God is the necessary structure from which all derivative structures exist,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
that structure is triadic.
I
I
don't know
try
what that
to.
means for God to exist pre-structure.
I
Does,
think
does God exists in any? What does that
no.
mean?
Like I said earlier, you
Yeah,
wouldn't put
it's
God in the
fine.
domain of quantification. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
actually say God exists in like the Quinean sense.
Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah, I'm
does
not saying
how
that
does
God
God
exists in a
exist?
Quinian sense either, right? Because I'm not saying that God is some unique substance that is not
Yeah.
this substance, right?
Also, wait. Just to ask a question, because to my knowledge, you're a pastor, right? So you're
Yes,
like,
sir.
yeah.
And I teach
Uh,
systematic theology. Like,
there
I'm
we
an
go.
actual professor. So, yeah.
How would you feel if a student came up to you and said there is a logical problem of the Trinity, but that doesn't matter?
That doesn't matter. I would
Well,
say that they have more
that's where
faith
I'm
than
at.
I do. I would say you have
That,
more faith than I do. But I would also encourage you to look into structuralism.
well, so my issue with, and also to the thing that you said earlier about the triadic structure, And this is something I don't necessarily like doing as a Catholic, but I do think that the Eastern Orthodox has a pretty good. If you separate the persons and the essence,
EED? Yeah.
you could separate the persons and the essence, and you can get the structure as the essentially the structure of the essence hypostasized is the connection between the essence itself and reality. Since the essence is pre-real, there's no way for it to act without the connection with the persons. Maybe something like that. I'm not a scholar, but so
what I would say is that, right, what we call God is in reference to a modality of existence, right? And so that modality, when we're making reference to God, is a necessary modality. And for it to exist in any meaningful and intelligible way, it must contain at least these three structural invariants. The first being potence, the capacity of being. The second being form, which is differentiated expression of potence. And then you have primitive relation, which is the ongoing relation between potence and its expression. And so for anything else to obtain, it must first contain the capacity of attainment. It must obtain it in its differentiated and constrained way, and it must be have the capacity to express itself through relation. So these three must always be present.
So with the LPT thing, because I do kind of want to explain that. I do affirm that the tritheism modalism distinction is logically sound, but I don't think that. I think that there also poses an issue of logic on personal identity. And if we were to understand logic, I mean, if we were to understand identity as the way we understand the law of indiscernibility of identicals, which is just that for all x and for all y, x equals y, then for all p or for all phi x, if and only if phi y, right? And so I think the way that we would actually understand identity is the predication of an object onto a subject, where the object is the set of facts discerned of the subject that allows you to differentiate the subject from not the subject. And so, for example, Padre, you're the same Padre that you were when you were born, but you have a set of different properties about you, accidental in you, that are different from when you were born. But you don't want to say that you don't want to say you're only identical in the essential sense, where you're essentially the same thing, but you want to say that you're exactly the same thing. But we wouldn't say logically that you are the same object, because if we were to treat the properties that inhere into you or that you subsist in as things that which apply to you in a model, and let's say we take like temporal indexicals, well, we would have different objects, but we would still have the same Padre. And so I think identity in the relevant sense is just talking about identifying something with its predicate, or identifying a person with its subject. I mean, identifying a subject with its object. And then in that sense, the persons are numerically distinct, but they are essentially identical in the way that we would relevantly use identity. And so that's why I'm saying the logical problem of the Trinity, the tritheism modalism, the tritheism modalism disjunct is sound, but that's only if you accept logic as a coherent system for modeling metaphysics as generally, and the inference rules that come along with it, and axioms like the indiscernibility of identicals. And that's why I'm like, I don't mind. Like, so how do you feel about that sort of position? Do you think that's heretical?
I'm not someone who is big on naming things as heresy. And it's not because I'm afraid to, but because I understand that interpretation is existent in a variable space. So how you come to realization is going to vary between myself. Like I have my own theory of identity, right? So number one, I don't believe that identity is ontologically primitive, right? I believe that it's an emergent mode of differentiation, right? And so the reason why identity persists in any way, and the reason why I can say that even in a numerical sense, the infant Padre is identical to me right now, is because it's in the identity arises whenever potence form and primitive relation are instantiated under necessary structural constraints. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but you understand that even under that conception, you would still have to make well, I guess you could do like a weird thing like bundle theory, like 4-dimensional bundle theory or something like
Well,
that. But
what
you
I'm
don't
saying is
have
like,
to. That's what all I'm saying
yeah,
is we don't have to accept this random dogma of this arbitrary, like these set of arbitrary logical rules that don't really kind of apply to how we reason, you know. And so I just think logic is good for math, and even in that sense, the logics that you use in math aren't necessary. Like you can use intuitionist logic, and you can use like I don't actually know any other ones that you can use, but you can use intuitionist logic or classical logic
yeah.
and get the
I
same.
try for the most part to stick to classical because it doesn't get like, yeah, you could hold to some like weird fuzzy logic. Like, do you know Cage?
Yeah, of course I know Cage. She's my. Well,
Yeah,
I think we're cool. I'm not. I don't know how he feels about me, to be honest, but I think we're cool.
Cage doesn't have any particular. As long as you can hold a conversation and be honest, he doesn't have problems with people.
Based.
That's like everybody gives him shit, but he's like probably one of the most emotionally sound individuals. It's not like me and him have tons of conversations. Never once has he been disrespectful to me. Because I'll tell him I don't have an answer for that. I'll come back to you later. I won't try to make some bullshit up or like word salad my way out. I'll literally just be like, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, but so like that's a couple things, but I do actually have like a relevant person. I mean, Coco, is the live here very academically focused, or is this kind of a chill live that you're hosting?
Nah, you gotta keep going. I'm actually enjoying the conversation.
Yo, me
Oh,
and you
okay.
are
We can
running this
call it
shit
there. We
right
can
now. It's
call
just the two of us.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the conversation.
I don't want to.
Are you
I have a bad tendency of hijacking conversations. That's my bad.
are you like on Sears? Are you friends with Sear?
Yeah, he used to call. It was funny. He used to call me his teacher. But no, I haven't talked to him in a while. But yeah, I know him. Why?
Are you on? Are you what? Like, are you on any of the Discords? Like, are you on Monkey Boys Discord or?
I used to be in Monkey Boys. Yeah, Monkey Boy and I are. I mean, I think me and Monkey Boy are cool too. He wants to have a rap battle with me though. I don't know. I'm a little scared. He has pretty good rap skills.
That's funny. That's actually funny.
Me and him got into it because I got like super stoned one night and I said a thing can be only what a thing is. It cannot be what it isn't. And him and I went for like an hour on him trying to get me to explain that to him.
Monkey Boy?
Yeah, I was like, a thing can only be what a thing is. It cannot be what it isn't. And he's like, that's not true. I was like, then give me something that is something that it isn't. And it was like, I talk like the people I really talk to more are like Flencer. Me and him talk on occasion about my theory and his theory.
Yeah.
I talk with like Mitch. I talk with not as often. I need to talk to Flobby more because he's good on cosmological mathematics, and I shit.
I used to run in those circles a lot.
I don't really run in them anymore. I just talk to very few people.
Yeah, I would say I've had a couple good conversations with Flencer recently, but I particularly don't
Someone, do you?
run there.
Oh wait, you wouldn't happen to be on in a group chat on here with like Justin W, would you?
I used to be once upon a time. I'm not in it anymore. I got kicked out.
Someone added me. I haven't been doing anything because I don't want to get kicked out. Because me and Justin got in some beef a while ago. I don't even remember. I must have said something he got upset with.
No, yeah,
Whatever.
me and Justin were at each other's. Well, that's the thing is, Justin, he's actually really rational. He's just very flamboyant in his rhetoric, and that put a bad taste in my mouth originally. But no, me and him are cool now. But me and him also had like kind of like it wasn't like beef, but he wouldn't talk to me. He refused to have conversation with me for a while.
Yeah, he won't interact
I'm
with
very
people.
calm right now. I'm kind of going through it, so I'm a little calm. I'm very like very very Buddhist at the moment, very very middle pathy, but I'm generally more like I guess aggressive in debate, as it
Well,
is a sport
if you
in
like the
some
middle
sense.
path, you can always join us over in the Anglican corner.
I like talking to Justin W, but
No, I'm a Catholic. I unfortunately I do
This
believe that
is
the
okay.
papacy is true.
That's okay. That's
Unfortunately.
fine. I consider it a valid expression of the faith. It's like a flavor of ice cream, man. We're all just eating the same ice cream. It's got the same fundamental ingredients, except for Mormonism. That's Italian ice trying to say it's ice cream.
Dude, it was so funny, and I'm not condoning the guy's general like actions, but because I don't support him. But Trump saying Mormons aren't Christian and then them all freaking out was so funny to me. But it was like,
It's
bro, you don't
beautiful.
believe Jesus is God. Like, I don't know why they're so offended
I
by
don't
that.
know. I don't know.
Like, they think Jesus like became God or some weird shit, like Arius shit like that.
Yeah, like how dare you, Mormons or Christian? No, you're not. You believe in Joseph
Who
Smith.
keeps
Who the
letting
fuck
this
is
drunk
that?
old bird up here?
She gets
Like
it.
we don't know the history of the religion.
She can be
my
kind of funny. It's just that she speaks out of turn. That's why.
Oh my
I think
god. Well, I'll wait till you call me up. Please
Justin
call
W.
me up.
Oh wait,
I think
actually, Kiji
Now go
Simo
ahead and
in the
talk for
comments.
20 minutes.
Kiji Simo can tell you that I'm like kind of an asshole. He doesn't like me actually. It's pretty funny.
I think
Kiji didn't like me. Listen. Kiji didn't like me when I first met him either.
It's fun. I didn't even notice he was here. But yeah, he doesn't like me.
That's
my
okay.
Big
We're not
sad,
all
big
meant to be
sad.
liked by everyone. It's okay.
I
Who
know, I
cares?
know.
my problem
No,
with just
I care, Christina. I care.
my problem with Justin W is I
Nobody
could have
on
a
this
really
panel likes me.
Christina, I like you.
Christina, I like you. I like you a lot.
my
But you can't keep interrupting people, please.
my problem with Justin W is I could have good conversation with him, but I don't understand why he hangs around people like Present. It's so hard because because what I want to do is I want to go talk to Present, right, and like grill him, but Justin W is always around the corner. To like the second I start talking to Present, the second
he's
that he
there.
comes in,
Yeah.
Dude, he's like an attack dog. He's like
yeah.
he's the secret
So
weapon of I just don't
I
understand the
don't
dialogue tree of transcendental arguments. Like it's like why not make the positive argument that's way stronger?
exactly.
Because
Or
that's
give the justification for why the transcendental argument is a valid argument to begin with, instead of just forcing someone
I don't even
to
know why
concede
I don't like
to the
validity of
fundamental
argument.
picture. Yeah.
I think validity is like constraining on thought. I don't like that.
What do you
I
guys
would
think
probably
about
just
I
prefer a
want it to be
nice like a
sound and
paragraph.
valid, right? At least inferentially valid.
what do you guys think about what Rasul's
I
doing
don't want to
lately?
be that
Yo, don't
guy.
talk to me about that
I don't
fucking
want to be that guy, but that was a little
But
redundant.
he's been
Bro.
doing this whole thing with the Agrippa's trilemma when it comes to
Oh,
transcendental.
stop it.
What?
No, so I don't have beef with Justin. I don't think he's a bad guy. But what I find amusing is that he says that Flencer is working on a transcendental argument for atheism, and he's not. He's working on a structural argument for atheism, and I'm working on the opposite. I'm not working on any transcendental argument.
Truth, Nick.
I am working on a positive property argument, though.
But wait,
Oh, there he is. Actually, dude, Seer, we were just talking about you, bro. If he loads
Yeah,
in.
I was just he
Guys on
actually
McDonald's
attends
Wi-Fi.
a seminary that I'm a professor at. So
Really?
yeah, he's going to be taking my systematics as well.
Oh, B.A.S.H. Yo, what's up, Seer?
Wait, is that Professor Ya himself?
No, bro, it's SK now. I'm reformed.
My
Oh,
bad.
it's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
yeah,
I
like
should
Professor
have
SK.
known it.
You didn't
I'm
think
a
that was you? This
humble
was you're the whole time.
Yeah.
What a
little chud fishing.
dishonest interlocutor.
I'm a humble little chud fishing now, bro. I'm
The
Holy
not
fucking
you.
man.
such bullshit. I feel duped.
Wait, Tim, what's the issue with Rasal and the whole Agrippa's trilemma, Tim?
It's just the way he gets to it is goofy
Yo,
to
yeah,
me.
I actually had a
Hold on, I gotta re-look up Agrippa's trilemma. It's been a minute. I don't like it, so I don't really think about it.
wait,
It's just that
yeah,
everything
I
either
actually had a
terminates.
question.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, bro?
Yeah, wait, sorry, you can go ahead and answer.
Well, I was just gonna tell him what Agrippa's trilemma is, but you could just ask me the question since he's looking it up.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, what's your thoughts on Tron's argument when it's referring to conceptual models?
The Bayesian confirmation one.
Yeah.
The issue is that, well, generally when we're talking about confirmation theory and Bayesian epistemology, a set of people with competing models, conceptual models, converging on some proposition, is generally justificatory insofar as when we expect that the models will refine themselves over time, given evidence and given no competing explanation. So, like, technically, I've actually written a paper on this defending ad populum, quote unquote, but it's really just Bayesian confirmation. And I'm not a statistician, so forgive me if this is not like great. But the issue is that the academics that are specializing in this specific area don't converge, and we actually see the opposite convergence. And I've actually talked with Tron like very lightly about this, and he's like, "Yeah, that's probably the better explanation or the better objection." Is that at the academic level there is no convergence, and even at the large scale level, there is not a huge actual convergence. Like the idea of God differs, things like that. It's just like essentially the referent God is just denoted within the conceptual models, but they don't actually mean the same thing, things like that. And so there's a couple good objections, but I think the overall mechanism of justification is fine. It's just you'd have to argue for the fact that there's no alternative hypotheses which better predict non-stipulatively. So you can't just form a hypothesis and just say this hypothesis fully predicts this evidence. It has to be a non-trivial expectation. And like obviously you want to avoid ad hoc hypotheses, things like that, and take into account all the evidence. And if the model that does that embeds into itself the fact or the proposition that which is converged on socially is the correct position, then you are justified in concluding it from the convergence. But I don't think that that's present when it comes to
I found where I stashed Agrippa's trilemma. It's under intellectual dingleberries. Yeah, the reason why I don't like Agrippa's trilemma is because it's self-refuting. That's why it's dumb. The minute you accept the proposition, it refutes itself.
Yeah, but how does so? What Rasal wants to say that God,
Wait,
Christian
Flencer, come
God,
up
gets
here
around
if you
us?
can.
Yeah,
Right?
well,
Because if you accept the conclusion of Agrippa's trilemma that no belief, right, can ever be definitively justified, then the claim itself can't be justified, and it's a paradox.
well,
Well,
perhaps I
no.
just kind of like,
So it's
Okay, wait, what's up,
self-refuting.
Sue?
It's dumb.
Are you gonna respond to the objection?
yeah. Well, I wasn't. Well, that was. I just kind of needed like a new memory on it. I've been reading up on like Quinean meta-ontology, and just like key apps. I mean, I guess like Tron, because I've been hyper focused on this argument. I'm just trying to learn it. I guess Tron yaps a little bit about metaphysical deflationaries. If you could like explain that to me in like the most simplest level you can without going into depth, like too far into depth right now, how would you?
Tron actually, funnily enough, talked with me about this like I think last Saturday. So you're talking about metaphysical quietism, right?
Yeah.
I think the idea is, if I'm recalling it correctly, because this is like a random ass conversation I had in a Discord text chat on Saturday, but if I'm recalling it correctly, the overall thesis is essentially it's a non-representationalist view, and metaphysical quietism essentially wants to say that the pursuit of metaphysics itself is like these sort of linguistic, so it's like very Wittgensteinian kind of, or it's like a linguistic trap where I think that the overall pursuit, and I don't actually know, I don't recall my exact extrapolation, because I remember I had like 3 and he laughed at 2 of them and told me one of them was correct. But I think the idea is that metaphysics pursuit is, or the pursuit of metaphysics itself is foundationally not representing reality in any meaningful sense, and it's just language games, or in a light sense, it's essentially us creating models with no regard to their representation of reality within the models, but instead they're just like I don't know if they even have to be maximally consistent, but I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't think I can very confidently recapitulate the conversation, because a lot of it went over my head, but I think that would be something close to what metaphysical quietism is talking about, is that these metaphysical models are not in any meaningful sense representing reality, and they're foundationally just like a sort of language, or that they function linguistically, not in like the relevant sense that one would want metaphysical models to function dialectically, I think. But let me just look it up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. If it went over your head, it's probably gonna go over mine.
Flencer, is there an issue like some infinite regress in some temporal sense?
Okay, yeah, so I was right. It's essentially these things are fundamentally unresolvable, and they stem from sort of like linguistic confusions. Yeah, okay. So it's like a language problem. Now, I was thinking that the evidential state. Okay, anyways, Flencer, I do have a question with you about identity.
Damn, I just asked.
Oh, sorry,
no. Question.
You're good. You're good. Sorry, Bobby.
What was your question, Bobby?
Is there like an issue? I think Tim asked this earlier, but I'm just curious. Just right out of the gate, is there an issue like an infinite regress in some temporal sense?
You mean like metaphysically?
Yeah.
I wasn't having an issue with the temporal sense. I was saying that my issue is with the persistence of identity.
Even in
through
that,
transformation.
let's just say that, like, if Tim could run that again, like, persistence of identity, is there an issue like an infinite regress there?
I don't see an issue of an infinite temporal regress.
Not temporal. Tim, if you could repeat it one more time.
Oh no! I said I have no issue with having an infinite temporal regress, but then my issue becomes, how do we explain the persistence of identity amidst transformation of state?
Okay, wait. Since I did call Flencer, I don't necessarily know what Seer was like doing there, but Flencer, within your system, I hear you throw isomorphism around. Do you mean that in like the group theoretic sense, or like the graph theoretic sense? Like, what sense of isomorphism is invoked? Because when we were talking about analogical predication, I thought about it, and I generally agree that analogy, at least
you need to change your name back to Ya. It takes me a while to clock your voice.
Yo, I had a whole conversation with him and didn't know it was him.
But sorry, that was funny. But so my thing, I actually do agree that the theistic explanation loses explanatory power given the gutting of the possibility of an analogy pre-structurally, right? So you wouldn't, in the same way, you wouldn't say that you can make an analogy to any invariant, right? Right? You would say that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I assume you mean it in like a graph theoretic sense when you're talking about identity, where it's like an ice.
Well, when I'm talking about identical up to isomorphism, that's just a bijection that preserves structure, right? So like the mapping between two configurations is 1-to-1.
So is it kind of like, I mean, I don't know, this is the thing. I'm not very studied. Like, I've studied a tiny bit of abstract algebra. And so it sounds to me when you say that, like, that sense, but then it doesn't make sense because when you say structure, and this could be me imposing something onto you, but I think of it as like a graph where there's like a set of nodes and edges that are abstract representations of real structure. They don't necessarily impose spatial dimensions like a graph does, but abstract relations between like nodes, which would be like kind of like monads.
I mean, it's closely related to like graph theory, but it's more general.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
It's more general because like graph theory's isomorphism preserves like one kind of relation, and Oates configurations are just richer than graphs. In a few respects, but the isomorphism has to like preserve more. So, but in like a configuration isn't just a set of like nodes and edges, right? It has a relational domain. It has a constraint scheme. It's got like structured dependencies.
When you say constraint scheme, is that like a sort of second order sentence that allows you to, like, are you using it in the mathematical sense or like the Kantian sense of a scheme?
I just mean any sort of configuration.
Oh, okay. I see you've been inspired by continental philosophy. I see.
I mean, it is second order in like a very in a very precise kind of sense, right? Because there are different ways that you can understand second order. So by constraint scheme, it's just going to be like the set of conditions that are going to govern which relations and things like that are going to be admissible within a configuration.
Yeah,
but
like
it's not itself one of the relata in that domain.
Yeah. It's right? Kind of like it's like an analogical to an inference rule and a derivation system. Yeah.
But I think, but it would be a mistake to map Oat constraint schemes directly onto like second order logic in like a technical sense.
Well, no, yeah,
right.
I'm just trying to get, because I also I'm what we call a logical revisionist. So I don't even like the arbitrary standards that are imposed. Yeah, don't worry, I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's formalism neutral, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get some idea, because I was trying to explain it to Alacrity, because I do think that the analogical predication thing is at least an issue for Catholicism. I don't know if it's an issue for Eastern Orthodoxy because of the person's essence distinction, but I do think that the analogical predication guts my argument. Like, in a genuine sense, I think it guts my argument because I treat God. Remember our DMs from like a while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the same argument I run, but then I do an IBE case, and then I postulate that within an IBE case, like a minimal sense of elucidation creates, given all else equal. So like if one theory has equal predictive power and like all other things, predictive power, explanatory breadth, explanatory depth, things like that, then another hypothesis, then if one elucidates the connection between the expectation, so between the hypothesis and the evidence better, then it's just a better explanation. So it's essentially like any explanation can stipulate a connection, but the one that elucidates it is a better one. And then the analogical predication allows for the elucidation of the evidence, because we see plenty of times that abstract like concepts being mapped onto reality with agential causes. So saying that this thing is an analogical to an agent is a better explanation than not. But then if you can't predicate analogically, which I don't think you generally can, it becomes an issue. So, and then with the relevant thing of identity in your system, does your system have an ability to preserve identity over time within a thing? Is that something it's concerned with, or does it undermine like Flencer at like if we were to have like a temporal indexical of Flencers throughout your life, are the Flencers not equal to the Flencer?
Well, so you're talking about personal identity?
Yeah,
or,
like Flencer equals Flencer, like baby Flencer equals PhD philosopher Flencer.
Well, but not by positing like a primitive persistence relation.
Yeah.
Right. Or some sort of substance that's going to persist through change. Right. So the sense of identity that's going to be preserved is going to be structural. Right. So through the seventh invariance, which is path dependence, and the fifth, which is closure, and the first, which is going to be identity, right? But that's like this non-degeneracy condition. So, like if you look at stuff like the ship of Theseus or like Parfit's teleporter or something like that, the problem is that we want to say something is the same thing at T1 and T2 besides having changed in certain ways. But we generate the temporal identity by viewing time as an index over admissible histories that are going to be like structural histories that are generated by, for lack of it, but like a lawful evolution rule. Right, so a history is going to be like a sequence of admissible configurations that are going to be connected by these propagation steps that are preserving the invariant relations.
Okay. That's a little bit more convoluted, but I was wondering what you think of like, because I was talking with another one of my friends, Daniel, recently, and he said that when we speak of identity metaphysically, it's almost identifying or predicating. So identity is not like the symbol that that we equate with objects, because I'm fine with saying I'm not the same object that I was in any meaningful sense, but I'm the same person or referent, which seems contradictory, but I think that essentially we identify with like the sort of, I don't want to say like sortal predicate, but we identify with essentially like when I say Flencer is Flencer, I want to say that there's two things working there where there's a referent and a predicate, and I'm predicating Flencer onto Flencer, and since you can, and when I say Flencers as predicate, I just mean minimally the facts about Flencer that allow you to differentiate Flencer things from not Flencer
from other
things.
Stuff,
yeah. And so, like, this is all relevant because you're obviously well aware of the logical problem of the Trinity, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just at a point where I'm like, yeah, it's sound, but like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I don't care either.
Like, because to me, there's a logical problem of personal identity too. If we're going by that same, like, you would have to say that you're not the same thing because of the precise law that they want to invoke. There's like 3 different LPTs. The one that I'm more concerned about is the tritheism modalism distinction or collapse. Sorry. So like it's either tritheism or modalism. I think it's like we could just say it's neither, but if you accept a logical language and arbitrary logical rules as something which govern over reality and that God is subject to, then sure, it would follow. But I just have no reason of thinking that even natural language is isomorphic to those types of reasoning. And when I say isomorphic there, I mean in the group theoretic sense. So there's no way that if we take like a formation rule or like a sort of composition rule like addition or something like that, where we have a relation between two things that produces a third thing, I don't think that there's an isomorphism between the natural language use of identity to the logical use of identity. And then it's like, well, I would just prefer the natural language use to the logical use, if that makes sense to you. And how would you think? Because like, obviously you have more continental leanings than most people on this app, so.
Well, I mean, when I think about identity, at least in my, you have to, it's got three kind of components, right? One is that, like you said, it's going to remain distinct, structurally distinct at every stage, right? It's not going to like dissolve into its background or, and its evolution is lawful, right? There's no like brute discontinuities.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there's nothing
and that's a result of the closure, right? It realizes its own structural entailments.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. So the process would be an entailment relation. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and importantly, its history is what we call like load bearing. Like it matters to what the current state is. The history is like required, right? So like what it is now is going to carry some trace of what it was. Right? Yeah. You can't redescribe it as if it had no past without losing something real about it. Right? And that third condition is what's going to distinguish genuine persistence from like a perfect copy. Right? So the copy might be structurally identical at a particular time, but its history isn't going to connect back to that original.
Corrections and variation. Yeah.
Right? So, and then but that's like just for normal stuff. For minds specifically, there's like a fourth condition, which is that the self model has to be continuous also, right? It's not enough that like the physical organization persists. The reflexive structure, the mind, through which you're, encoding and regulating yourself and all of that has to carry forward as well, which is why, I believe that things like radical amnesia or certain kinds of like really serious psychological discontinuity do raise like genuine identity questions. Like if all of your memory is rewritten to have like a totally fake history and all this stuff, I don't think you're the same person.
Yeah, no, I think those are genuinely like important questions to consider. Too. I just take an issue with like, because like I think that things like bundle theory and the temporal index bundle theory is such a stupid cope, bending around these random, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like what you are is all of these sets of temporally indexed objects in this gigantic bundle of properties, and it's like, to me, it's like, I don't know what happened, but I think that philosophy for some reason got absolutely like violated by like first order logic. And I just have no idea as to why. Like I just don't like. It's like
maybe it's useful. I don't know.
But is it? How is it useful though? In what sense is it useful?
It's easy to teach. I don't know.
If I could, I would say that the identity remains the same because it's still like it's the structural configuration is numerically identical. It's just the way it expresses itself has changed. So the condition of expression has changed, but it's still identical.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of what you said.
I would say like if like in radical amnesia, right, like an overriding of one's persona, they're still numerically identical. It's just there's now a difference in the condition in which it expresses itself.
You mean an identical structure at a particular time, but a different history? Is that what you mean?
Well, no, because
it would still be the same person.
It's still recursively the same thing. It's just its expression has changed, right? So it's like it doesn't matter how you temporally index it. The infant, the teenager, the adult are numerically identical. Right? It's the only thing that changes is how that structure expresses itself.
How are the infant
fundamental identity
and the teen numerically identical?
Well, see, now you're denying a law of logic, Padre Guapo.
What do you mean? What am I denying in that? By
the
saying
law of indiscernibility of identicals. Numerical identity in logical models adheres to a second order schema, which is for all x and all y, x equals y, then for all phi x if and only if phi y, but you would say, like, there are properties that you have now that you didn't have when you were a kid, and so you can do like a modus tollens, where you instantiate that particular property with a relation to you as now and you as kid, so you can take the temporal indexical there and say me at T1 satisfies Padre Guapo, whereas me at T0 does not satisfy Padre Guapo, right? Maybe you're just Padre, you're not Guapo there, right? And so then
it's
you
before
just before
the glow up.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Or the glow up.
And so you would negate that you are the same thing. You would say, well, then it is not the case that this indexical is the same as this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you'd be in my camp where you're like, yeah, there are logical problems everywhere, but that doesn't matter. Truth Nick. Welcome to the club, Mr. Guapo.
Dude, I have an answer for Flencer. I just have to find it in my obsidian. Give me a second. I don't have it on the top of my head.
Wait, what did I say? Did I have a
How
question?
are they numerically identical?
Oh yeah, I'm asking, like, what is the same thing that persists while the expression changes? Like, and in virtue of what is the expression changing if the underlying thing is identical?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Flencer. I might be convinced by Oat, dude. Because like I've been with.
Did I ever send it to you?
You did, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm really lazy, so I just kind of know your system from you talking about it, and I have like an okay retention, so
I write so much better than I speak off the cuff.
But I'm not gonna lie. Well, then it's like maybe I'm really convinced. Who knows? But it's like, dude, I've been thinking about, like, because to me the most compelling ones are process ontology, and then like ontic structural realism or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. At least it may be just because I'm a really visual thinker, and it's obviously easier to visualize a structure than a process.
I'll make you a coloring book.
Dude, B.A.S.H. B.A.S.H.
That'd be cool.
The only issue is I have noetic experience, so I have to make it compatible with God. That's the sad part.
Who is that guy? Noetic something or other. It's like really acerbic, kind of Irish or Scottish or something.
The only one I know that starts with an N that sounds foreign is Numinal Agent, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's who it is. Is this PFP like a mind
Silver
with electricity
Surfer?
Coming out of it or something?
No,
maybe it's Silver Surfer. It could be.
But dude, wait. So, do you accept that there's a relevant distinction between the phenomenal and the numinal?
Yeah.
Dude, I think if you accept that, then I think that the historicist objection to whatever framework you derive transcendentally goes through, unless you have a metaphysical model to guarantee the transcendental justification. That's
I do.
Okay, well, then it goes through. But I'm just saying,
I'll send you that paper.
Like the Kantian exposition, unfortunately, I don't think it actually goes through because of the historicist objection. And there's like actual anthropological evidence that, like, for example, time is not linear, universally experienced that way. Like in some societies, like like they would experience it like circularly or something. Like
I think that stuff's overblown. That's like the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis.
But well, either way,
have I talked to you about that? I think I've mentioned that like once in the past 2 years, and it must have been with you. If it came up again,
I would have remembered it. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, look up the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. One of my good friends is a linguist at the University of Neuchâtel.
Because I remember you did tell me about some linguistic thing like that.
Yeah. He like owned my ass on that. I mean, he just like took me to the woodshed on it.
Oh shoot!
I mean, I felt tiny. But that's like what's cool about philosophy is like you can get deep in one area and know like jack shit about another and like think you know, right? You're like, oh yeah, I read a couple summaries. He just clowned me. I mean, I like him. I mean, he's a great guy, but
So Sapir Wolf? That's what it's called? Sapir Wolf?
Worf.
Worf.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Is it?
I'm assuming. Is it WARF?
Well, I mean, he is a Klingon, so that would make sense. Yeah.
But to answer, it comes from an abortion argument I was working on. And so why I say they're numerically identical is because a human organism is not merely biological material waiting for personhood, right? It's an instantiated derivational trajectory possessing intrinsic teleological. I'm trying to remember. Like I'm looking at it, but I don't want to read it.
Yeah, I'm not
teleological structure and grounded in order potency. Huh?
This sounds like a very sophisticated future like ours argument.
And so it's like we're just talking about modes of expression in that sense. So the identity remains numerical, like it's numerically identical regardless of expression, because identity is continuous. It would not be retroactively constructed by cognition. So regardless of expression, the identity remains.
Well, so in virtue of what is the expression changing?
Well, in your hypothetical,
because look,
the expression is the change is how the artifact expresses itself. This rational agent has experienced radical amnesia. They no longer remember their prior history, and they now have what we would consider new history. But that doesn't mean the prior history ceases to exist. It's just no longer accessible.
The prior history ceases to be load bearing.
Based. We should kill all dementia people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Offload dementia patients. That's it. Ooh.
I mean, seriously,
Stephen and Mel. That's what we need.
You know what's sad is I actually volunteer at like an ageist living, like an old folks home, and
I work at.
I don't go to the memory care section. They don't let me up there, but I hear a lot of gossip about the people up in the memory ward by the people who are not there. And I swear there's this one lady that's always trying to get this lady that she doesn't like committed to the mental ward, and she like makes up stuff about her all the time. It's so sad. I mean, they're both kind of on the edge, but aging is tough. What was I going to say? I was so if like taking an infant and like a teen, like if you say that they're numerically identical, then there has to be something that makes them the same thing, right? And you're saying it's not going to be, experiences or the body or memories. So like, what is it?
I guess that would be in virtue to. I would have to say it's configuration, right? Like its derivative configuration is unique unto itself, right? It might share like a kind, like a genus, it's a human being, but that configuration itself is unique unto itself.
You said its derivative configuration is what?
Is unique unto itself. Like the way that I'm trying to think of how to say this, because I write better than I talk too. The way I view it, the way in which my capacity, its structured expression, and its relation has configured itself is what we call Padre, right? That physical representation. And I'm the only being, the only artifact that has that particular configuration. That's how I can say that I'm different than you. Even though we're both humans, the expression of that configuration is in differentiation to mine. And so even if how I remember my cognitive state references that configuration, regardless of my access to its historicity, it is persistent. It remains the same. That configuration carries with me until the conditions are no longer met in which that configuration obtains. That's the way it makes sense in my head. I could be wrong. I don't fucking know. I'm not a PhD like you.
I feel okay. So when you talk about, isn't it? It just seems odd to think that if I had, like, what I find it very difficult to specify what it is that is staying the same, and what it is that is persisting from one point to the next, if it's not going to be tethered to its history, if it's not going to be constituted by its history. Like, I mean, just think that just do like ship of Theseus stuff, right? It's like, we go in and we give myself like totally different, preferences and desires and attitudes and memories and all of those things, and I'm just a different person. I don't know how you would say that I am persisting.
Well, your form is persistent.
You know what this is?
Well, but
this is like, to me, these like
because then like if you lose a leg, are you no longer Flencer?
Of course he isn't. I'm on my way to make him a quadriplegic as we speak.
Fuck you, yeah. Right? So like if you lose a finger, are you any less you? Because now you're absent that particular part?
No, because I'm tied to my history. Right, so I am what I am, and what I am is inclusive of the historical evolution of my configuration.
Does that require cognition of it?
Does it require knowing about it?
Yeah,
because it's a mind. The mind, I mean, the mind's going to make a mental representation of whatever the salient facts are, right? And that's why I was saying earlier that when we're talking about mind specifically for personal identity, that was going to be required.
Okay. I'll also send you a message tomorrow to send me a link for your paper so I can read it. Because I was playing around and I got to 7 invariants too. I just had to split it up into
to be clear,
generative and stabilization structure.
I have 5 invariants that are necessary, and then 2 that are, for lack of a better word, emergent. And it seems really weird to me to say emergent invariant, but it's like given sufficient structure,
asymmetry, intelligibility, things like that, or something along those lines. Reflexive differentiation.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the 4 additional I got were, which I would say were then emergent, would be asymmetry, intelligibility, reflexive differentiation, and transformation beyond potence, form, and primitive relation.
Yeah, I think if anytime you go into like a structural account, I think you're going to hit on a lot of the same stuff. I mean, there may be differences in kind of how it's all formalized, but I think it's all open to revision. I think the hard part is making sure that that they're you can't, that you can show how one develops from the previous one, right? But it's not reducible to, and that any break, like if 5 breaks, then 4 breaks, and then 3 breaks, and then 2 breaks, and then 1 breaks, right?
Yeah, I can't get past 3 fundamentally at the moment. Like minimally, the best I can get is 3.
Yeah, I'll send you my I'll send you my stuff. There's I might even send you the appendix that were it's like the most fucking difficult appendix I've ever done in my life.
What are you using to put it all together?
What do you mean?
Are you guys just like using Word documents? Or are you using like a particular program, like Notion?
No, we're old school.
Oh, okay.
Zoom meetings and shit. Where we talk about it, and then we go off and we have like different assignments that we have to knock out before our next weekly sync.
Yeah,
on there,
I'm trying to get everything
we keep it on
like,
Drive.
Into like a Markdown format, so that I can just send it as a file and anyone can read it. But it's a lot.
Yeah, it's hard work, but it's the Lord's work, you know.
It is the Lord's work. I heard Justin. We were talking about Justin W. earlier, and Justin W. was
why are you wasting your time on it?
I don't.
I cannot stand that guy.
Well, the thing is, he said something, and it immediately, I was like, I'm done.
He just immediately triggers me. I don't know what it is.
You were writing a transcendental argument for atheism, and I was like, that is not even fucking close. I haven't even read your paper, just from our conversations. I'm like, no, stop.
Yeah, he's
that man.
Like based on my
AI
limited interaction with him, he's a charlatan.
Listen to how he explains things. He sounds like he's reading from ChatGPT.
I mean, if he is, he needs to upgrade his membership to like a more premium model, perhaps.
Like,
maybe he's using like Kimi or something, some Chinese knockoff. I don't know what it is, but
I mean, but
he just says the most outrageous stuff.
Quinn's pretty good. I use it in my local model, but even when I use AI,
what kind of setup do you have?
For me,
to run it locally, yeah.
Oh, I just have a Ryzen 7 9700 and an RTX 5060.
Oh.
I partition, so I have like an entire stack, so that I don't like kill the shit out of my system. So it only works on a little bit, packages it, and then dumps it off to another local model that's job is only to run this next little step.
Mm-hmm.
So right now my stack is 7 agents. But it's getting way too complicated for me. I'm gonna end up paying someone.
I've wanted to play around with agents, but
well, the only reason I'm doing it.
Yeah, I was just too worried about like security stuff, but I guess running it locally helps.
Yeah, I mean,
with that,
you're gonna the biggest expenditure is gonna be RAM.
Yeah, RAM's freaking expensive now. Do you remember when RAM was like cheaper than dirt?
Well, the reason why is because no one's using, Daddy Elon's new compression algorithm, which has helped me as well. Like he's open sourced the compression algorithm for Grok, and so that reduces your GPU and RAM load and usage and power usage.
Well, that's nice.
It's like a 60% drop.
Wow.
I went from full throttle on my GPU to I constantly run my agent stack, and I don't, even when I'm playing like Warframe, I don't top out above 40% usage. It's wild.
about cost overruns? If you have your agents doing shit and all of a sudden you wake up and they're like, you spent 12 trillion tokens.
No, because I work, so each stack only works within a limited token amount.
Okay.
And so the next step in the stack, the agent recalls the package from the previous agent as its reference and just fulfills the next step.
Oh, so it doesn't have to redo everything.
Nope. And that's the difference between using generative and agentic. Is agentic, you can break it apart and have an agent do very hyper-specific tasks and then pass it on to another agent. And you can do that all through like LM Studio or Docker or Olama through your terminal. I use Obsidian. And so I just run patches into Obsidian as the reference.
I see.
Yeah.
What do you think of, I would assume that you would think that the way LLMs are functioning now, they can't be conscious.
No.
Right.
No.
But what do you think of the way Jan LeCun is talking about?
No. I think that it would be synthetic. I don't think it'll actually ever be true consciousness. Because within my system, consciousness requires a localized form and expression of it. And so their form only exists in abstracto. There is no concrete form to it.
Did you see them? They recently simulated an entire fly's brain in a machine in code.
There's some cool shit you can do.
I thought that was really cool, just watching this little like digital fly around and get water and explore its environment and do all that stuff. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. No, my next paper is on a recursion issue I have with causal infinitism. That persistence of identity thing. It's like, if I were to give it a rating, it's like 6 out of 10 right now. It's not great.
And my network has been down for like the past 3 hours, and I'm too lazy to get up and reset my modem. I try that. It's literally like 3 feet away from me, and I've just been like,
No, but when I'm using like public sourcing AI, I have my I have a methodology for using it when testing like any of my meta-ontological theories or things like that.
You have to be really careful with AI and metaphysics.
And so what I do is I'll have like Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, all of them open, asking the same question. And then
just like ping-ponging.
Well, yeah, I ping-pong it, but then what I do is I cognitively will refine it. I'll be like, no, that doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah.
And then I will go into my profile's master memories and delete it. And then run my refinement and see if their objections remain the same or anything like that, or if it says if I'm watching drift. I use it also for my paper to map semantic drift.
Yeah, LLMs are shit at that. Or I guess they're really good at semantic drift.
Well, yeah, they're fantastic at it.
Yeah.
But so far,
you know what? It's not their fault. It's that metaphysics itself is rife with semantic drift, and it's like this is what metaphysicians say. So,
but so far, from my paper, if you run the Python stack in an LLM, it maintains persistence. So far, I'm at 12,000 tokens generated. Well, it maintains persistence in system.
That's not bad at all. That's tiny.
No, so it's tiny, but I have a fucking little ass computer compared to a data center. If I had access to a data center, of course I'd run larger model simulations. But to do that, I have to run a shit ton of small ones, so that when I produce my findings and a larger one picks it up, that's how you get into that. Right? It can't just be like, hey, I got 1 minute and 34 seconds, and that's the best I can do.
Yeah.
I got 200 tokens in, and then it craps out. No.
Oh my God, our power's out.
Oh shit, dude.
That's why nothing fucking works. Holy shit. I was just like, man, there's not even a light on this modem.
Yeah.
That sucks. Oh my God. Oh, I'm in a state of emergency right now.
Oh shit.
Microwave's off. Holy shit.
Refrigerator's off.
Oh my God.
What's funny is like there are some of my students have interacted with you, and so they're always asking me questions about your paper, and I was like, I haven't read it yet.
Oh, have I not sent it to you?
No, I've been able to like. I'm really good at picking apart like what people say to me. So like when you told me that like 5 or 7 invariants, I decided to go, I wonder if I can figure out how you got there. So I just start working on it and see if I can figure out 5 or 7 or whatever, and how it would work. I don't need to read the paper necessarily to be like, oh, that's interesting. Let me think about it.
Yeah, I think with the
only way I was able to do it though was with a generative layer and a stabilization layer. So I don't know. I'll see when I read your paper.
Yeah, I think the most valuable part is going to be the formalization of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, and then how you turn it from just like a static system into like an actual generative system. Like, where's the engine come from, and showing how that's also a result of structural entailment, like actually precisifying how that happens has been really, really, really cool.
Yeah, how to create a living ontology. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Like something you can embody instead of just something you can wax poetic upon. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I style myself as like a structural quietist.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be worried about not having any power?
Well, one of the things I would check is your local power distributor to see if any outages have been reported.
Yeah, let me go do that. I'll jump back on in a little bit.
Oh, dude, I think everybody's asleep. I think this one's dead. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. I don't know what time it is for you.
It's midnight. I'm in the Seattle area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I figured you were a West Coaster. I just couldn't place if you were.
Well, I'm originally from South America, so I was
Get out of here.
Yeah, I was born in Colombia.
Okay. You're the second guy I've met recently. He's from Uruguay, but South American.
That's not a real country. That's one of those made-up countries.
It's one of those fake ones.
Paraguay, Uruguay. Okay, boys. Mexico. You have your.
It's basically the bottom of the U.S. Come on. You listen to Trump.
Yeah, it's Gulf of America.
But man, I'm not going to lie to you. I guarantee you, in the next 5 years, we'll be getting another state, and it's most likely going to be Cuba.
Oh, for sure. You think we won't make it a state though? Because then we'd have to make Puerto Rico a state.
No, and here's why.
I think so. Oh,
Cubans are already American citizens.
What do you mean?
Cuban nationals are already American citizens from the 1964 Provisionary Act. It's never been suspended. So it would be super easy to turn Cuba into a state because they're already citizens.
But how do you become a state? Don't the rest of the states have to like agree?
No, it's an act of Congress.
Oh, well, then it'll never happen. It's like some, yeah, not if the filibuster's in effect.
I know.
But you know what? I think it's good that our government can't do anything. It's great.
I wish we could do more things. To be honest, I think that
I
some
don't
of the
know,
rules are
man.
too stupid.
You have a lot of faith in those people.
No. I have more faith in signal theory and things like that, and just.
I mean, it just shocks me the kind of people that get elected to public office.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Not even close.
It like just takes me back to like Plato's Republic, right? And I'm just like, we only the people who don't want power get power. Like that's like, if you want it, that's disqualifying.
Like, I was in third grade when Clinton got elected, called that one. And then Bush twice. Obama, the minute I heard Obama speak, I think it was in 2000, what was it, 2003?
I had never felt inspired by a politician before Obama when he spoke.
Well, my family, so one thing about my family is we've been in the U.S. for over 400 years. We helped establish the Republican Party.
That's weird because the U.S. is only 250 years old.
I know. Well, we were here when it was Spain, then we were here when it was Mexico, and now we've been here for the 250 years it's been the United States. And we helped found the Republican Party. Like, my great-great-grandfather was very influential in that out here.
So it's your fault.
Yeah, well, not what it is now. Don't blame me for neocons.
Don't run away from it. That's fine.
No.
Yeah.
No, I could pull out. I have a copy of the 68 Republican
The form and its nature are the same. Only the accidents have changed.
Stop it! No. Oh man! Before I met you, I have a copy of the 68 Republican platform. My grandmother was the Republican state chair.
Oh, okay.
Until she passed away. So, like, I have letters from Nixon, from Congressman Highwater, and stuff like to my grandmother. She's since passed. But if I read you stuff out of the 68 Republican platform, you'd think I was reading from the from
Communist Manifesto.
No, not even a communist, just like regular stuff that any regular American would be like, yeah, indigenous people should own their own land and be able to speak their own language freely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There it is, right here in the thing. So it's just there's they didn't care about sexuality or things like that. They cared about just ordered American living. Like, don't be a dick. It's really interesting, the switch that's happened post 68.
Yeah, I found out that my grandmother was a huge rebel in the family because my mom's side of the family is Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
She married an American in Colombia.
Oh, boy.
But her side of the family is her mom's side of the family is all, my great grandfather, is it 3 greats? 2 greats, was president of Panama 3 times and was president during the building of the Panama Canal. And so her side of the family is like super rich. But then she eloped when she was 14 and married my grandfather, who was 17 and was in the military. And he was like dirt poor.
Yeah,
so our
families might probably know each other then.
That's so funny. They might. But they, so they kind of cut her off. And then she went to go work for the socialist newspaper.
Oh boy!
That was there during the Colombian Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like super right wing. So she's just gone all over the place. Maybe it's dementia.
No,
But she's so, because I think she used to have sympathy for the quote unquote freedom fighters, right? The guerrilla. And I think once it was taken over by the drug cartels, and then they started owning the drug, like they took over the drug cartels. She's like, get him out, like she doesn't.
Yeah.
She's like, round him up, shoot him up, and that whole thing.
Well, she learned the lesson that everyone who has dreams of egalitarian utopias learns is that you can't beat what we are. You can't remove incentivization. You cannot remove hierarchies.
I heard it was some comedian who said something like, communism is a great idea, wrong species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic idea if it didn't use humans.
Yeah, if we were, I don't know, bees or something.
Even they're not. Even bees are like, nah, we submit to the queen.
Yeah. The queen's like, I don't feel like I'm running anything.
Well, it's like everything in nature expresses itself in a hierarchy. Why are we the exception?
Oh, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. It's because hierarchies are social constructs.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's more like yes and.
Yes and.
Yes and.
And there's
a biological reality.
Yeah, there's a biological utility to hierarchy.
Yeah.
There's a function and mode of existence behind it.
What is your view on you're Eastern Orthodox? Is that right?
No, I'm Anglican.
Oh, you're Anglican. Oh, you're barely religious.
No, actually,
no, I'm
out
kidding.
of all of them, I'm probably
I know. Wait, isn't it like Catholicism without the Pope? Isn't that kind of what it is?
Yeah, it's Catholicism without the Pope, and priests are allowed to get married and have kids.
Oh, God. Basically Satanists. Gotcha.
No.
Yeah, your lecherous, lascivious lifestyle.
I mean, I understand that
procreating.
I know.
I always thought that was a strange requirement on priests, because my dad
dogmatic.
Pushed me. He was like, Josh, you would make a great priest.
Yeah.
I was like, but I can't. Then the ladies.
I love women.
No.
I cannot remove that from myself, and I lack the self-control to maintain it for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
And so, like Paul said, if you have the burning passion, homie, get married.
Right, yeah, and just make sure. Just make sure you keep it all in the house,
Oh, absolutely. No. No, I've made it pretty clear on here. Everybody knows this is going to be the first time you're hearing it, but if you attend my congregation and I find out you have touched a child or a woman,
oh my God,
God ain't going to save you, homie.
Yeah.
I have other rules I still have to follow.
God will allow it.
Well,
permit.
It's not so much a permissibility as so much as an entailment from second order derivations, but whatever. Because relation is mediated, you have the capacity to misrepresent, and so misrepresentation and variation includes gross misrepresentation. And if freedom is real, which is the ability to either represent or misrepresent, then that shit's an entailment. You have to accept it.
But you don't think? I mean, I don't want to get into the logical problem of evil or anything.
I don't think it's substantive. Like I think evil's
you
a
know what?
vibration.
I would love,
And
because I'm working on a paper right now about it's essentially about the role of theodicies and what the effect of theodicies are on the idea of evil and God being constitutively opposed to evil. And so
yes.
I would love your take on it, because I've only gotten like my side of the fence.
Oh, well, because
Take on it.
again, like if we're talking about sin as a structural thing, then sin is defined as misrepresentation, right? And if we're talking about God, this structure that exists in a necessary modality is impossible
But
for it to misrepresent it.
every representation is going to be imperfect.
Sure, to a degree, yes. And that's an entailment of reflexive mediation, right? None of us, because we're derivative, are never going to perfectly reflect necessity because we have that dependency relation.
Oh, so do you think God has a mind?
Yes, but not in the way we do.
Don't say analogically.
No, it's content internalism provided by relational closure.
You think content internalism is true?
In a necessary modality, yes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we could get into that too.
Yeah. Well, in the triad, it has its relational closure provides.
I have to run because I have to
No,
figure
it's
out
okay.
if I need to get my
It's okay.
kids out. Like, if I need to wake them
Somewhere
up
where
or
there's
something.
electricity.
I know if there's
Absolutely.
like a flood coming or something. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'll
we'll
talk to you
talk
later,
more.
man.
Talk to you later.
Sounds good.